even when you lost. There's always a hope. Rise and fight.
Gosudark, OyA, and a newcomer from China, Xin. Curiosity, what do you think about today's groups? Got any favorites?
Well, these Chinese players have shown that they're at a really high level. So I wouldn't be surprised if Xin shows good games like the previous groups have shown. And well, Gosudark, OyA, and Babo, that's three foreigners who have made it into the round of 16 many times before. Gonna be tough, but I gotta say OyA, if he's on top of his game, has got to be somewhat of a favorite here.
Yeah, OyA, I mean, he beasted up on the ladder to get into this tournament. I think he had like 2,600 MMR. I mean, that's insane. And as you stated, even though we haven't seen Xin in any of the BSLs, I agree that his MMR, or he should be a very, very good player. All the Chinese players that I've played on the ladder, like Fingji, Mihao, or Mihu, not Mihao, Mihu, everybody has been very good when I've hit them from China, so I have high expectations for him. I'm a little bit worried about Jiren, and the reason I say that is because Jiren is known to have insane muta control, and that's not really the biggest factor in Zerg versus Protoss, so I think he may have a uphill battle. And then of course we've got Gosudark, who always has a bunch of stuff up his sleeve. You know, yesterday when Jaeyoon was playing, I was thinking, wow, like this guy's got as many probes as Gosudark has in his PvPs. It's super low probe count. So I wonder if Gosudark watched those games and came up with something special. But yeah, we've got a lot of PvP, a lot of ZVP, and of course, first map of the day is going to be Ascension. And I think our first matchup is OyA versus Gosudark. Do you know any of the history between these two players?
Well, OyA has very good PvP. It's maybe PvZ is his best matchup, but PvP is right up there. And Gosudark, I definitely think his PvP is his best matchup. He just pulls out wild timings. Head to head, the games between them end up being pretty short. So I expect a lot of fireworks early, and then we'll have a decider within the first 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah, it seems to be the case in a lot of Gosudark games that they end quite quickly. And also OyA, you know, in the past, he was one of the aggressive players. I always mention the first game that I played versus him, he 7-7 gated me, 7 pylon, 7 gate. It's like, okay, well, this is what we're dealing with. So yeah, we may have a lot of fireworks. You know, yesterday, Jaeyoon pulled out the proxy gate into pylon, double pylon in Quark space, and that led to a successful win versus Quark. So we'll see if OyA or Gosudark goes for something like that. Now, any of the maps you think we're going to see? You think we're going to see Metaverse again?
It's unlikely we'll see Metaverse again, but the game yesterday was actually fantastic. So I hope we do see that again. Either in PvP or PvZ, it seems like a very dynamic map for those matchups.
Yeah, actually, I've seen a few games of Metaverse. Often I actually see Mini playing on that map for some reason. I don't know why. He just always seems to be the one when I tune into a sponsored game. He's playing there. And did you catch him versus Effort on Metaverse?
No, I have not seen it.
Okay, you should watch that game. That game had carriers, it had devourers, it had all types of stuff, and it was a very unusual PvZ. I highly recommend it. It was super long, or maybe it had like an hour, but very, very epic. And hopefully we can get a PvZ there. But again, generally in BSL, players tend to veto the unorthodox map, so I'm not sure if we'll get that. I hope we get to see Turbine though, because we haven't seen that map just yet, or at least I didn't get to see it yesterday, and I know that's also in the map pool. We had a game of Monopoly, which was exciting, but I think we're probably just going to see Eclipse, Butter, Ascension, and Goodnight. Now, what about Jiren versus Zen?
Well,
you seem to.
Jiren, aka Babo, has a very specific style ZVP. So he likes to go standard, but then he'll always follow up with Muta. Always, no matter the game state, we're gonna see 9 to 11 Muta lists made by Babo, and then just mass Hydra follow up. That's usually 90% of the time how he plays. It doesn't matter if he goes far nat, close third. We're gonna see Mutas and Hydras.
Yeah, I mean, he's just very well known for going for the Muta play, and we're getting a look at the statistics of both players. You can see Gosudark generally a round of 24, round of 16 type of player. Meanwhile, you can see OyA was on the up and up until the round, or until BSL 12 and 13, where he's kind of stabilized in the round of 8. But OyA has improved quite a bit. If there's ever an upset, you know, if ever DeWalt or Bonneth get upset by somebody like Crossy, or, you know, one of the Zerg players that we've actually seen take them out, like Hawk even, OyA is someone that can go the distance. Like, the only people that he generally falls to are the superstars of BSL. So we'll see if he can get a lucky draw going into the round of 16, round of 8. But I think I agree here. He's going to be a favorite versus Gosudark. You can also see, look at his win rates. Pretty darn good versus Zerg. Insane versus Terran. Kind of, you know, so-so versus Protoss. But you got to remember, generally
It's
in
bonus,
BSL,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
generally,
bonus and DeWalt.
yeah, that's all you're playing. So if you're going 50-50 versus these players, I mean, I don't know what else you can expect. That's darn good statistics.
And you can see Gosudark's best is against Protoss, which is also pretty impressive considering the quality of players in BSL who are Protoss.
Yeah, just generally Protoss is beasting up BSL. But lately, Terran has been on the move. Remember, we had Terra win and then Mihu win last season. And when we see the screen, that means that our players are ready. So let's get into game 1. It's going to be OyA versus Gosudark on Ascension. All right, in the bottom left, our Swedish Protoss player, it is OyA.
And in the bottom right, we have Gosudark in the color blue.
All right, well, Ascension is one of those maps where, of course, it's not 2-player, but there's limited scout bases to scout. Do you think anybody will go for a potential proxy, or do you think we may see like forward gate, or do you think we're just going to see a typical opener?
I think we'll just see one gate tech from both players, and then they'll branch out from there, either into some kind of early pressure build like Jaden was doing yesterday, or just fast robo.
Oh, yeah, I remember now. Quark does not like to build reavers. But you think we're going to see a reaver today? You think any
Definitely.
of these 3? Yeah.
So from what I remember, Gosudark either goes 3-gate obs, or he goes 2-gate reaver timing. Those are like his go-to builds. And OyA is someone who likes to go for 1-gate robo, and then go for reaver, and then either expand or go 2-gate and harass and attack. So we're probably going to see reaver. I would say maybe every game is guaranteed between these two players to see reaver.
Yeah, I really
it's not like Cork yesterday. Just no matchup will he make reavers.
Yeah, I really do hope we see reavers, especially from OyA, because I would say he's got the spawn advantage here.
2-gate.
Yep, it is a 2-gate. Meanwhile, Gosudark going into tech. You're gonna have to keep a close eye on whether he actually builds a zealot or not.
So yeah, he's scouting after a second gateway. When you do this build, you don't go with 1 zealot, you go with 3. So it's not really, you're not in a rush to scout your opponent. And in this build, he's not cutting any probes early. Like Gosudark, if he's gonna go core zealot with this 10 scout, he's gonna have to cut 1 probe. So OyA will have the early economic lead, but of course Gosudark has the tech lead.
Yeah, now I can't get a look at the turn rate here, but whenever I see something like this, where it's, you know, 2-gate pressure versus someone that's only on 1 gate, gonna have very few units, turn rate is gonna be a factor here. Now the probe, okay, I was gonna say it's gonna see this zealot moving out, but not the case. Now there should be a gap. Let's see if OyA can prevent this probe from getting in. He sees 1 gate. Ooh, really nice to deny vision. And Gosudark may just think this is a single gateway.
And I looked at the gas timing. Is this 21 gas? Looks like it is from OyA. It's just going to be the 3 Zealots, maybe 4, and then he's going to go tech quickly into Dragoons. Now Gosudark knows, but he did a build which is really good against this opener. He went for 2 Zealots, then the Cybernetics Core, and now he's going to get a 3rd Zealot. So he's going to have the 3 Zealots in position to defend the 3 from OyA.
Yeah, this seems like a really nice blind counter. Very nice opener from Gosudark. Meanwhile, not committing heavily to the Zealots. Oh, okay. Shenanigans already. There's the Citadel, and there's a battery. And we saw yesterday NBA with the really, really clever battery play until he drilled onto his own units and pushed the DT through. But yeah, this battery will definitely help Gosudark really take no damage. And I'm curious what the robo timing is going to be. Like, if OyA goes straight range here, I think he's in big time trouble.
So OyA shouldn't suspect anything quite yet, but he sees Gosudark has 3 Zealots. He sees a shield battery, and that's not enough information. Maybe Gosudark. Okay, now with the 5 Zealots, if he can trade, really he's only trying to trade to get in, not even do damage. 1 Zealot is way out of position here. Shield battery heals, but they can't attack while they're healing. So this looks like a great trade for OyA so far.
Yeah, this was, oh man, this was so unfortunate for Gosudark because I felt like he had a huge advantage, and then he loses all of his Zealots, and the Zealots get a full scout off. And if OyA had, yeah, you can see he got range and he canceled it. So this was an amazing scout. He even catches another Dragoon here. Zealots are doing a lot of damage to the probe line, forcing a lot of lost mining. And that was a crucial scout because I think OyA would have just outright died if this was ranged.
Yeah, you can see the robo going down, but is this robo actually going to be in time? I feel like he's going to have to rely on blocking, which if this is 2 gate DTs, it's going to be 2 DTs attacking the front Dragoons. Could be a little bit risky, but during all that, I saw Gosudark didn't make the DTs right away. He was drilling. He was very focused on not dying, losing Dragoons or probes there. So it's going to be DT into 3 gate, 4 gate Dragoon. Okay.
Well, we talked about this yesterday. You just don't have the gas for 4 gateways. So this may be, of course, some goons followed up with like speed zealots. I mean, that's my go-to move is I combo speed with the ranged goons. I mean, it's surprisingly strong. Is that 4 gate? No, okay, that's another pylon right next to his 3rd gateway. So both players going heavy on the gateway production, and this may catch OyA off guard if he's ever out of position.
I feel like he might lose a couple units here, nothing too drastic, but he's going 3 gate goon, but he hasn't started range yet, if I'm correct. Maybe he just started it.
Yeah, I don't think he started it at all because he's been focusing on getting his tech up. First Zealot goes down. Cannon's not done yet. Now he's going to swipe down a goon or almost gets a goon. These 2 DTs have done a lot of damage. He may even get this cannon. Okay, he does get the cannon, but the observer pops out just in the nick of time. But I would say, of course, the DTs didn't get in and get any probe kills, but at least he did a decent amount of damage with them, and he kept them alive.
Well, soon the gig is going to be up for OyA. For Gosudark, all OyA needs to do is go out and scout with the 2nd observer, see the 4 gate, and not be aggressive at all. Because OyA, the only way he loses from this position is if he goes out and attacks. He doesn't have range either, and Gosudark's range is on the way here. There's a Nexus.
There's a Nexus, and well, that's not going to help you versus 4 gate. So I'm a bit worried that OyA, he's out in no man's land for absolutely no reason. And as he pointed out, there's no range here. The DTs, they didn't get any swipes off there. It would have been amazing if he had hooked around 1 DT and sat it like in that choke, and then the goons can't even escape. And now Gosudark is on the offensive. He has like 5 goons, 2 DTs versus a comparable army comp for OyA.
Yep, you gotta remember there's no range for OyA, there's range for Gosudark here. Zealots will help out though, and now it's actually inverted and Gosudark is on the low ground. He's gotta be careful.
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching the Jaeyoon Court game. Like, how did this happen? How did all these goons get out of position? DT's coming in through the back, but more reinforcements from Gosudark. Is he going to be able to plow through? Remember, DT's deal 40 damage. That's a lot of damage per swipe. Just barely. I think he might actually bust through. It's 2 goes to 5. This Nexus isn't helping OyA at all. He may have to cancel it.
That's a very low goon. Gosudark should commit here. Yeah, he's going in. Has the superior gateway count, of course. He's got to be careful. Like with the probes, he can't get surrounded like this. That's 2 goons that are probably trapped here.
Oh, he's able to escape just like in TVP when I surround with SCVs. The goons somehow get away. Look at that, those front 2 goons have high health too, and that's it. That's GG. Wow. And Gosudark, he's gonna take game 1 in a best of 1, which means he's already into the winners match.
What did I say, Mayokan? Yeah. 7-8 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that was a quick game. I thought it was going to be even quicker once the Zealots got in, or the DTs were, or really the build order choice from Gosudark until the Zealots got in. So nicely done from Gosudark. He's an assassin, man. And I would say, you know, when you think of potential winners of BSL, OyA's got to come to mind. And already he's in the losers match.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a spectacular follow-up from Gosudark. But like I said, OyA had no business being out on the map. He doesn't have range. He didn't scout before moving out, and he's expanding as well. So just super risky play, and Gosudark just had 4 gateway production. And like you said, those DT swipes, they do 40 damage. And if the goons are hitting goons, those DTs are right up there. Although OyA had really good micro, he was pulling away and shooting, but just overwhelming mass from Gosudark, and of course the range advantage.
Yeah, I don't even know if range ever kicked in like at any point during the big fight. But yeah, like you said, OyA, why were you out there, dude? Like, you'd already done you had already secured your Nexus, you had already stabilized. Like, it felt like that was a big overextension. I'm sure OyA will watch the replay and of course realize that was a huge mistake from him. But sometimes that happens, and he's gonna pay for it. He's already down in the losers match, and now we're going to be going into a ZVP. This time around, it's going to be Jiren versus Xin. And I don't think we have any intel on Xin, right?
No, I don't know that much about him.
Yeah, I don't have any intel from him either. I don't recognize his ID. Like, I don't recognize playing him on ladder at all. So this should be a pretty good matchup just in general because the Chinese players seem to be very good. But yeah, no intel on him. What about PvZ and Ascension? I remember you yesterday saying PvZ was good for Protoss. What makes it so good for Protoss?
It's good because every base has a gas. They're all full bases. You don't have reduced mineral patches. You have access to full gases, and it's just easy to control that one high ground. It allows you to take 4 bases pretty securely, and then you have a very clear attack path. Just attack the high ground of the third. If you can take that, you win the game. And a lot of like minute things like the choke makes it pretty good for Zealots against Lings early game. You can go 1 gate really nicely on this map, and as long as Zerg doesn't get the 2 versus 1 split where they get the other main, and it's pretty easy to get a favorable split on this map as Protoss late game. So just early, mid, and late, it seems Protoss can be comfortable on this map.
Yeah, I often see just Protoss play so favorably in the center of the map simply because there's so many high grounds all over the place. Like, if you ever get like a Zealot goon on top of one of those little ledges, they trade super effectively. Feel like unless Jiren sets up a massive lurker contain, which doesn't seem to be his style, Protoss should be fine. But also something to think about is spawns do come into play. I see a lot of games where Zerg drops do devastating damage. So hopefully Xin is not somebody that cuts on Corsairs because he may get punished, especially versus someone like Jiren who loves to play mutas. We are just waiting for our players right now. Should be starting up pretty soon. Now, I'm gonna look at the bracket, of course. As you see, Gosudark already in the winners match. We've got OyA waiting in the losers match. It's so surprising to see him there because this is the round of 24, man. Like, we're not even in the round of 16 yet.
Yeah, and OyA is someone who's made it into, I think, 4 or 5 consecutive round of 8s. So he's always getting into the bracket stage of the tournament, and his tournament life already at risk. And the Gosudark happily sitting in the winners match. Only has to win one more series to get out of this group. And we just saw his PvP is pretty wild. He'll just come up with random timings and builds that you don't expect, because there's absolutely no way you would expect the 4-gate follow-up.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I was expecting him to go into Storm and Cannons and take his natural. So when those 4 came out, I was like, what is this? But maybe he has a soul read on OyA where he knows OyA likes to just take another base, try and go into the macro play. And I mean, it was the right read there, caught him off guard, a move that I've never seen. But of course, we're getting a look at the stats here. You can see Xin, obviously high rated, 2400. That's pretty much the barrier to get into BSL, because I didn't even make it in, and I had like 2401, so 2415 or so typical rating to make it into the BSL. And then of course Jiren, geez, 2500, and we're looking at his stats. I'm surprised to see his versus Terran win rate is so low, because I've played him on ladder and a lot of times he just outright kills me with just Mutamicro. But you can see his highest win rate is versus Protoss. I find that a bit shocking.
Yeah, from what I remember, his best matchup is ZVZ, actually. Just really good in the Mutalist stage of the game.
Yeah, when you think of good Mutamicro players, of course, True Touch and Eon Zerg come to mind. And then Ziki, now that we've seen him for a few seasons. But Jiren's up there, like no joke. There are a lot of games where I'm just instantly lose to him, whether he's going armor on his mutas into Guardians or whether he's just going pure muta play. I mean, his muta control is absolutely bonkers. You can see, unfortunately, though, it looks like he's about a round of 24 to round of 16 players. So this time around, hopefully he can go a little bit farther, because he is one of the best Zergs, I would say, especially in South America.
Yeah, definitely. And, well, if he were to go up against Gosudark, they did play show match, best of 9, maybe like, I don't know, 4 months ago. And Babo barely won that 5-4, so very close between these two players. Against OyA, though, OyA's best matchup is PVZ, and there are very few foreigner Zergs who can beat OyA straight up. I think Ziki and True Touch are the only ones who have beaten him recently.
It's funny you say that OyA's best is PVZ, because I was thinking for sure it has to be Protoss versus Terran, because I just never see him lose versus anybody when he ends up getting like a 12 Nexus. I don't think I've ever seen him lose when he gets a 12 Nexus up. But yeah, his PVZ is also on point, PvP on point, a little bit overextended there. And we are just waiting for players to get into the game. We did some lag testing earlier. Not sure what Zero's come up with. You got to remember, we've got the Chinese player, we've got Chile here with Jiren, we've got OyA from Europe, and I remember Zero mentioning Bolivia, but I don't think Gosudark's from Bolivia. Oh,
no,
Peru.
He's Peruvian.
Yeah, Peru. All right, well, we are almost getting into the game, guys. Apparently, Jiren just gets disconnected. So we're waiting for him to reconnect, and then we'll get into this best of one between these two players. Again, thank you guys so much for supporting the BSL. I saw donations already coming in. We saw Star Lover donate yesterday, and a bunch of other people donate. We're about 10% to our goal, so definitely consider donating a little bit if you can, or becoming a Patreon supporter. Remember, as I've stated many times, $10 and above on Patreon, you get all the replays from the BSL, so definitely think about that.
Well, sometimes this happens with a global tournament like BSL, but should be resolved within a few minutes.
Well, what have you been up to these days, Seriosity? I don't see you in streams very often anymore, other than BSL. Do you? Oh, we can forget that for now. We've got the players ready. Let's get into our second series. It's going to be Jiren versus Xin. Oh, Pancake Sky, thank you for the big tip. And in the bottom right, we've got our Zerg player from Chile. It is Jiren.
And in the bottom left, we have Chin, and nope, this isn't an early scout. This is we're 40 seconds into the game. It's just a natural pylon at the natural going back. So gonna be one gate, very common on this map.
Man, I was so excited. I was like, am I going to see proxy gates? The first game I ever see from this Chinese player, am I going to get proxy gates in the center of the map? But I guess that's not the case. But as I was asking you, we don't see you play many games. We don't see you play BSL anymore. Like, are you still playing BroodWar? You still follow ASL or anything?
Follow ASL, watch it almost religiously the day after. Mostly StarCraft TV, just because it's on YouTube and I can watch it from bed at night. Still, I played BSL last season in Gosu League, but this season I just didn't have time. And then I played that Fighting Spirit Mania tour. Are you familiar with the format gosh.
There? Yeah, best of seven, best of seven,
right? So I had a potential match that would have gone over 40 matches.
Oh my.
But because of time difference and just work schedule, I could only play, I think we went into the 5th best of 7, right? It was 2-2. We're in it's against Squaw. It's 2-2, 5th best of 7. We're 25 games into the series. It's already Saturday, and I have to go to work that Saturday, and you have to be done by Sunday. So we played. It was 2-1 in favor of Squaw in that 5th best of 7. And I was just tired. Like the last game went like 40 minutes, and it just, even with 2 weeks, it became very difficult to play all the games. Like potentially we could have played, I don't know, even let's say Squall won the remaining games. It was a sweep from there. It would have been over 30, 35 games, something like that. And it just took me out of out of contention for any other. Like I had to schedule 3 hours, and it wasn't enough for one best of 7. So that's what happened. And I mean, it's great if you want to practice, but you really need to have the time.
Yeah, that was an insane tournament. Like I looked at it, I was like, oh, best of 7 is fine. But then somebody was like, no. It's a best of 7 of a best of 7. I was like, what? I mean, that's just an insane tournament. Well, we've got Zealot Pro pressure from our Protoss player. It looked like this was a 12 hatch opener from Jiren. Lings pop out in the nick of time, though. And this Zealot not able to get a drone kill. Just how did that drone survive? I have no idea, but it did. And oh my God, he didn't get the last hit off. And he even knocks out the probe, too.
Wait, that drone, it had 2 hits on it. And then the Zealot died mid-swipe, so it only got 1 of the 2 hits. And the drone, of course, has 40 HP, so it survived just barely and didn't do anything with that. So Babo is in a great position here. He got away with the tow hatch without taking any drone losses. He also didn't even drill.
Yeah, he lost almost no mining time, and he doesn't have to build, an excessive amount of lings. He didn't lose any lings either. He still got the 8. And it forces a cannon, it forces the second Zealot to stay back, and he gets a first scout off with the Overlord. This is the dream scenario for Zerg right now. He's already got his 3rd hatch basically done. So Jiren really, really in a great position going into the mid game.
Yep, and well, now his tech is quite a bit behind. You see the core is about to be done. The lair hasn't started yet. If Jiren were to go into lair here, which he does, he's gonna have to defend the coursers with Hydras, which is perfectly suitable. But like I said, Jiren really likes to go for Mutalisk, and if you can't go Spire to defend the courser timing, you have to go Hydra. Then maybe he goes for delayed Spire here, even gets a scouting probe.
Yeah, and that's huge, right? Like it's 4:45. This could be anything from Zerg.
Definitely could be anything in Protoss. Like the speed timing isn't guaranteed yet. Speed would be hitting in about 10 seconds if he had done lair. There's a 4th hatch. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see Hydrogen. Like Jiren got a confirmation of the core timing. Now he's gonna see even the Stargate about to finish. No way you can defend with Spire. So we should see Hydrogen, and this is just gonna be a defense of the Hydras for anti-air, and then going into macro. Like it's not going to be a Hydra bus. It's not going to be Spire here.
Well, 5th hatch should be coming down pretty soon. There it is. So heavy macro from Jiren, as you stated. Hydrogen should be coming, okay, or not. Spire started, but Hydrogen needs to get down, or Evolution Chamber or something needs to get down, because Corsair is already in production, and there's really nothing to stop it. At least right now, I don't see anything. Okay, Hydrogen just started. Maybe he can salvage a couple of these Overlords, but for sure that one at mid left is going to die. Anonymous, thank you for the big tip. You're damn right, BroodWar forever.
Well, this is a little bit late for Hydrogen. You want to make the Hydrogen when you see the Sayer production starts, and then you can get 2 Hydras out in time to defend it. How it is here, it's a little bit late. He's definitely going to lose this Overlord, might even lose another one here, and the one that's near the Protoss is also confirmed to be dead. So this could be 3 Overlord losses, and 3 is quite a bit of damage.
Oh, the Zealots moved out of position, and of course, Babo moves. Oh, what? I thought he was going to go in for sure. Babo is one of the people that does have the killer instinct, like players like Chilean Zerg has. So for him to back off there, he must suspect maybe Zealots are speed zealoting across the map somewhere, but not the case. Zen just has those Zealots actually kind of just slightly out in front of his base, kind of hanging around. So bit unlucky there from Jiren. He had an opportunity to deal damage, not able to capitalize.
You know what happened there? Babo was supply blocked, so he kind of freaked out. Thought if these Zealots are across the map, I can't actually make units here. And it was only like 11, 12 lings, which they kill 2 cannons, but then you're left over with something like 5, which 2 gateway production will defend easily, and then back at home he has no defense. So I understand the reason to pull back there. Now it's only 6 Zealots. I wonder if they have +1. It's +1, but nice SimCity there at the natural.
Yeah, and I didn't notice the supply block, but now that I see the supply, Jiren already falling, I would say a bit behind. He's only at 50 versus 74, and this is not a big commitment from Xin here. He's just poking with 7 to 8 Zealots with the +1. I'm noticing a lack of gateways. Okay, now he's starting the gateway flood, but I mean, this is only his 2nd and 3rd gate.
Third and fourth. He has 2 at the natural, yeah.
Okay, there we go. Right, well, multiple cannons coming down at the natural. I guess Zen is suspecting that some type of bust may be coming. But for now, it seems like Jiren is content with just sitting. Okay, already has speed, so this might actually be an attempted bust. Actually, look at that drone count at the 3rd base. Is that only 3, 4? Yeah, so he must be going for a bust, right?
Yeah, this is, or maybe he's oversaturated at the natural, but this drone count at the 3rd is very low. No, looks like natural has good saturation, main has good saturation. So a little bit of a low drone count here, but Babo seems to be going for it. So these extra cannons actually make a lot of sense here. And well, the thing is, how many Corsairs do we have? We only have 3. I know how Babo likes to play. I know we're gonna see mutas if this game goes long enough. Looks like we have a trade here with the Zealots. These Zealots getting a good swipe. A lot of damage on these Hydra lists, but the links here just to buffer. Looks like they're gonna run away, and this is a lot of Hydras. We haven't seen a round of drones from Babo. We haven't seen that 6 hatch.
Yeah, but this is a ton of Hydras. I mean, he's within 20 supply, and it seems like his worker count is not exactly the highest. So his army value, I think, is higher than Zen's anticipating, especially now that he's let off about 10 Zealots. He confirms the 6th hatch, but it didn't seem like he confirmed the drone count. But now he should see a big drone cycle here. So maybe Jiren is not committing to the bust, but regardless, 4 Templars already built for Zen, banking up that energy, and now he's going into that 8 gate as I was expecting to see.
Yeah, and I'm wondering now, after this round of drones and maybe a 4th base, will Babo make those mutilas? Because I just saw a lot of gas got spent. The gas went from like 800, now it's down to 200. This could just be Hydras, but definitely could be mutas here.
Yeah, it's
Hydras have
probably
+1.
Whoa! Okay, I thought those Sayers were going to run into the Hydras, and that would be a nightmare if those were mutas popping out. You know, I lately see some Zerg players actually go into quick lurkers, but it doesn't look like that's the case here. Somehow these Zealots went hidden across the map. He's going to find an opening on this 3rd base. Oh, he's not going to commit to it. I guess he doesn't expect there to just be a single sunken there, and now he's going to get intercepted by the remaining Hydras, and probably, well, I was going to say probably these Zealots are going to die, but I forgot they're so tanky, they're just going to take shield damage.
Yep, and immediately adding another cannon in the main, one at the natural. Of course, their production has started, and well, I don't know, that observer is a little bit unnecessary, because when you see Zerg going Hydra Muta, their lurkers can't be super fast. But here are the mutals for Mao, probably going to see 11, and no 4th base quite yet. So a big commitment here to the Hydra Muta, but the Protoss Xin hasn't lost any of his coursers, and he's still building up that number. I don't think they have +1, but I think with the amount of Dragoons we have and just 3-4 coursers, you should be able to defend the High Templars. Oh, looks like they're coming from the back. The Mutas, decent storms there.
Yeah, those storms were pretty darn good. He's going to lose the majority of his Templars, but Babo lost every single Muta there. I would say that was definitely a worthwhile trade for Xin. Now, if supplies were closer, like if it was like 130 to 145, then maybe it wasn't, because Zerg might just simply overwhelm a Protoss army that has no AoE. But because we have a 50 supply gap, I think for sure that was fantastic for Xin. He could even consider taking a 4th base if he was confident in his position.
He should have an upgrade advantage here, +2. It's about a minute away from finishing for Zerg, so if he wants to hit a timing with 1-1, he can go now. But again, Protoss is always a little bit concerned if they don't have a lot of AoE. It's hard to gauge how well you do just pure gateway. Yeah, just 1 Templar. Maybe he has 2 storms. No, it doesn't even have a storm. But reinforcing Templars and Zealots, he's kept his Dragoon mass alive, so he really is only going to be making Zealots and High Templars. Taking a 3rd, Babo's 4th is getting set up. There's a few lurkers on this high ground, but that's a lot of Hydras still.
Yeah, a lot of Hydras, and it's also on high ground, so this is going to be very hard for Protoss to bust. As soon as he sees the lurkers, finds may turn around. I don't even see an observer in this army, so if there's no ob, of course he's going to have to turn around. Yeah, no observer anywhere. It looks like maybe in the center of the map, you can see it bottom middle, kind of. There's a little dot there. Maybe he just mis-hotkeyed it. Oh, that's not a blue dot. That's a red dot. Overlord just hanging out.
Yeah, so he had the Robo and Observer really fast, but like I said, you don't expect lurkers to be out, because if Zerg is going Hydra, Muta, and Lurker, they're really limiting the amount of lurkers they can have. So it's not usually the cop you see. It's either Hydra Lurker or Muta Hydra, with maybe a couple lurkers like this to support. You can see he's really gas-starved here, Babo. And like you said, Protoss, no rush, can't just sit back, expand. High Templars back more energy. You're not really in a rush to attack.
I really like that sunken in the main from Jiren. I don't think I've seen any pro or even anybody in BSL build a sunken in their main to help defend versus DPs or Zealot drops. So I really like that play, especially spawns like this, where it's definitely in favor of Protoss for dropping capabilities on this map. Now, Xin, he is taking his 4th base at bottom right. He's still got a very fearsome army. He's at 2-1. Even +3 might be completing pretty soon if he waits maybe like a minute or so. And he may be setting up to try and just bust this. But I mean, high ground on Ascension is so hard to bust. I'd really just like to see him just, build up his high-tech units. 4 Zealots going to run into the 4th base, going to be annoying. Shut down a couple of these probes.
Well, army supply still in favor of Protoss, but 30 supply difference when it's 170 versus 140 is a much more manageable for Zerg. Good storms here. There's a lot of lanes. They don't have speed, and I'm pretty sure they're not going to have any upgrades. Hydra should have +2 though, so those Hydra lurkers on the high ground are going to be very hard to attack into.
Yeah, as I stated, I mean, Ascension is one of the best maps for defending, especially ZZZ. And you can see why here. I mean, what angle do you go for? I mean, well, okay, that's an amazing storm. If you hit storms like this, it doesn't matter whether you're on high ground or not. But the lurker field is just massive. However, there's no Hydra support, and that means that the Zealots will flood into the 4th base, and he can just branch those off and just storm on these ramps like that. He's massacring so many lanes, so many Hydras. Nothing can get down here to save this, and that means it's going to be 4 base Protoss versus just 3 base Zerg, and Babo's army is just getting absolutely obliterated by only storm.
Yeah, army hasn't been able to get within range of the Dragoon mass. You can see, okay, he's finally unburying the lurkers. He really needs to come from 2 angles, can't just go down that ramp. The remaining units of his army is just lurkers, so really hard to attack into what Protoss has here. Looks like he's making a lot of lings, but the 4th base has been killed. Protoss should really just hightail out of here and take the victory. 2-2 upgrades for Protoss. Zerg should only be on weapons. For Hydras, Link should be completely unupgraded here.
Yeah, and I agree. Protoss should just escape, but instead he's going to take this trade. I don't even know if he has any storms, but it's lurkers versus Goon. Okay, that's another fantastic storm. Hit so many Hydras, hit so many lurkers, and now it's a 70 supply lead with a base up for Protoss. I didn't see if +3 kicked in, but if it did, the power spike is huge. Yeah, +3 did kick in, and he has +2 armor, so he has a massive lead right now.
Yeah, absolutely catastrophic damage there. Babo just really caught off guard by that move into the 4th base from a different angle. Really had the lurkers there, but once Protoss got into the good position where they broke those 4 lurkers, Zerg had a really tough time. Bauer really should have wrapped around, gone through his 3rd, and try to set up some lurkers behind that, going through that small ramp where everything is easily stormed.
Yeah, and I think there's just no way to recover from this. It's too big of a supply lead. What is that, 80 supply or 50? I can't read it. It's kind of blurry here, but storms are just absolutely fantastic. Things are gonna get on top of the Goons. You can see that adrenaline has kicked in. So maybe an overextension, but the storm obliterates all of the Lings, and now more Zealots gonna reinforce this army, and there's really nothing to stop this.
And you gotta remember the upgrades. These Lings, they have crack, but they don't have armor, and these Zealots will two-shot them. And also, the Zealots have 2 armor on top of their base, so they're gonna do a really good job of trading here. Storm on the Zealots, not the best use of a Storm.
Yeah,
I'd say Babo just barely holding with some good lurkers.
Yeah, really good lurker placement and Lings to buffer the damage. He loses all the Lings, of course, but at least he doesn't lose those expensive lurkers. And now I would say it's a more managed. Okay, never mind. Look at that supply shoot up. It was like 130 a second ago. Now it's 165 because Xin has something like 12 gates in his main. And look at that. Look at that Sim City. It's beautiful, man. All of them just all in a blob make it so easy to macro. Babo doing a really good job to push this Protoss army back, but it's just a matter of time, really. However, I have to say Xin is not taking a 5th base. Even though he has 4 bases, he's really only mining on 2 of them because his main and natural are mined out.
Yeah, could probably take that 5th in the middle. I would like to actually see more Archons instead of just High Templar. Storms are great, of course, but when Zerg is making this many Lings, the Archons just buffer a lot of the damage, and also just one-shot Lings. They already have the +3.
Yeah,
so many cannons.
Yeah,
That's one pylon powering so many cannons.
The Arctos is pylon, man. And again, these Protoss units are just going to barrel down on this 4th base, and what I thought was going to be a good defensive position for Babo has just not been, and he's just running into the meat grinder of Storm right here. Another 4 Storms blanket all of the Hydras, and the army's just going to escape.
Yeah, not the best position, although you can secure the big high ground, but this smaller area, I thought he would just, because basically all you need to do is have the lurkers not where Babo has them, a little further back with 1 sunken, and it makes it a lot harder to attack. But if they were at the choke, it looks like Protoss overextending there. Why is he attacking with just Zealots? No Storm left over, but I don't think it matters. He's killed the 4th twice. No 5th, but as long as you keep Zerg on 3 base, like Zerg is bought to mine out main, natural, and 3rd simultaneously now.
Yeah, and like you said, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and like you said, this is Ascension where he's not starved for gas. Like he can continue to build those powerful gas units. Like he's not, you know, like 50% Zealot comp where actually these lurkers are like a saving grace for Babo where he could actually come back into this game. Like he's gonna build the powerful Archon, the Goons, the Templars, and it really doesn't matter how many lurkers Babo has. Well, I mean, the comp is almost 70% Zealot here. We could have a favorable trade for Babo, maybe actually get his 4th base up and running.
This is a lot of High Templars coming in to reinforce You shouldn't really lead with Zealots. You want to weaken the lurkers. Yeah, he's gonna be forced back here. He's gotta storm the lurkers so that they're easily one-shot by Zealots. But decent spread from Babo here. Good storms on the Hydras, but again, the lurkers are the real threat here.
Yeah, the lurker line now is pretty high, and with the comp being majority Zealots, Xin may be denied for now, but the storms, well, I mean, he doesn't have that many Templar left over. What is it? Okay, he does actually. He has 6. He has 6 left over and 4 Archons.
Yeah, and he has the High Templar energy as well, so High Templars spawn with more energy. Babo's doing a really good job, just barely holding on.
I'm looking at the money. I mean, yes, I realize there's an 80 supply lead for Protoss, but Zerg upgrades are super strong once Hive kicks in and win. And the fact that Protoss is basically maxed on a comp that flat out doesn't beat Mass Lurker like this, I mean, I guess there is a world where Xin could take a poor trade, give Babo a little bit of momentum, but the problem is Babo's just, his econ is so low. Like, Protoss is now on 3 base mining, while Babo's struggling on maybe like 1.5 bases. Just now his 4th base completed.
Yeah, Protoss really needs to go into reavers at this point, but sometimes when you're this ahead, you're just like, do I really need to go into reavers?
He may be thinking like, okay, well, I've got this game in the bag because he's killed the 4th base 4 times in a row. But with the Filers out in the field, that's going to be annoying to deal with, because not only just Dark Swarm, but Plague is brutal versus Protoss. And I mean, the army is kind of just sitting there. And if a Plague went off, it would deal hundreds of points of damage. Still, down 100 supply is Babo, but I mean, he's holding on. Luckily, or thankfully, Xin is starting to take bases. His 5th base is up and running now.
Oh, we're getting to that Archon number where it doesn't matter how many lurkers you have, the Archon can just get on top of them, and it looks like we're gonna move in here. 1 swarm, but again, he has enough High Templars to storm on top of it.
Yeah, it's just too much Protoss. I mean, Dark Swarm and lurkers are great, but you have to have a little bit more than that if you're gonna be down 100 supply. And we see finally the high ground has been breached. Finally, this lurker field is going to fall. However, all the Zealots fell, and maybe he can hold on simply because nothing can hit under Dark Swarm, and it looks like he is. Look at the supply, actually. It's 120 for Protoss. What just happened?
All the Zealots went down, and now the Archons can't actually hit anything. There's no storm left over.
And this is a heavily upgraded army from Protoss. I mean, look at it. It's 3-3-1. Okay, Jiren does tap out, but that was a great hold at the end. However, he's just way too far behind. And that means we're going to have... Oh, are we instant transporting in, man? Yeah, me and Seriosity instant transmissioning in there. But this is going to set us up for Gosudark versus Xin, a PvP in the winners match.
Yeah, it's gonna be spectacular. I don't know if the type of builds that Gosudark pulls out are seen in any other scene. So I mean, I expect fireworks. We're gonna see some short games.
Another 8-minute prediction, maybe. Well, this time it's gonna be best of 3, so maybe 25 minutes for the whole series. But before we go into that series, we're gonna take a break, and then we'll come back with our best of 3 to find out who rounds out our round of 16 finishers. Is it going to be Gosudark or is it going to be Xin? All right, folks, we are back. We just saw Xin dominate Jiren, but Jiren had a nice hold at the end, but unfortunately he needed a little bit more econ to get back into that game. But this does set us up for a Gosudark versus Xin PvP. Surprisingly, Gosudark took down OyA. He's waiting in the losers match, and this should be fireworks. You know Gosudark quite well, apparently, and you know his playstyle, and you're thinking this is going to be a quick series.
Yeah, I don't expect any game to go on beyond 10 minutes, basically. We're going to see a wild variation of 1 base builds from Gosudark, and PvP is the one matchup where staying on 1 base is not necessarily going to cost you the game, because you always have a timing available.
Yeah, and we know that's a fact because the DT timing was followed up with another one base 4 gate timing that led to a victory. And as you mentioned, Zen has probably never played Gosudark, and I don't think there's probably many players on ladder that play like Gosudark. So Zen may be in for a bit of a surprise running into Gosudark here. I mean, maybe Zen has investigated some of the foreign players. You never know. Apparently, Mihu and DeWalt and those types of players knew each other coming into BSL, but I don't know if Zen knows about Gosudark. Getting a look at the profile. No statistics for Zen because he's a newcomer to BSL, but meanwhile, Gosudark not a newcomer to BSL. I mean, this guy's always in BSL, whether it's round of 24 or round of 16. I mean, he always makes it in, but I think if he was to make it into the round of 8, it would be the first time I've ever seen him do it.
Yeah, that would be correct because he's pretty consistently made it into the round 16. We see only one on this graphic, but I think 7 and 6 he made it as well. So someone who's always in there, always getting into the group stage, but not advancing further. And well, Jin is a newcomer altogether. We don't really know how far he can go, but based on that game against Babo, he looks pretty strong.
Yep, and our players are ready. Remember, this time around, it's a best of 3, and our first map is going to be Good Night. So let's find out who's going to take game 1 and a lead in this series. Okay, in the bottom right, you can already see the lag hit. Where were you when the lag hit, Seriosity? It is Zen.
All right, and in the bottom left, it is Gosudark. One thing to note is there's only currently one South American player in the round of 16. That's Dandy, who's been seeded. Terror not participating in this BSL, and Ultra, NBA have been eliminated. So these are the last 2 who could potentially make it into the round of 16. Gosudark and Babo.
Yes, I need to see Bob Malcolm in the chat, man. I haven't seen him all day long. I don't see any messages from him. I guess when Terra's not in the lineup, he's just nowhere to be seen. But we need you, man, because South America potentially might not have any representatives going into the round of 16. We do see typical pylon placement from Gosudark and Zen. No forward gate, no proxy gates.
And something we saw Gosudark do in the first game, he went for, against OyA, he went for a Gateway Scout. Looks like he's going to do that again. And also Gateway Scout from Jin, which is the normal timing. Sometimes you see Protoss's Gas Scout, or if they're going for 2 Gateway, they scout after the second Gateway right away. But this is going to be probably one gate gas from both.
Yep. We see Gosudark is actually scouting the center, and he's going to actually go for a cross scout. And you can see the vision from Zen. He's got a little bit of a trailing vision. I wonder if he'll catch that probe. It looks like he's just barely out of vision to see it. So a bit unlucky to not actually see it coming across the map. Now, this is something I always wonder is, let's say you're on a 4-player map. Are you always vertical scouting? Like, is there any map that's 4-player where you're horizontal scouting?
It's interesting because you usually just go clockwise. Like, I don't know why that is, but it's usually just clockwise feels more natural. Sometimes if you're doing double gate like this, you go counterclockwise though, because you don't want to be scouting your opponent, or you don't want to get scouted first going with this opener and then not being able to scout your opponent, because if you can't get into their mid with your probe to see if they're going fast TT, it can quickly backfire. But it looks like both players going for double gate. And Babo, Gosudark not able to get in here. No gas from Jin, but Gosudark, I think. Okay, yeah, both players going gas here. Oh, and that probe gets snapped.
Yeah,
unfortunate
he got it
there.
Yep, he got his neck snapped, as some of the Clan X17ers would say to me a few years ago. So he only sees one gate, which is Exactly what Gosudark saw last game versus OyA, and okay, probe. Now that's a critical scout right there. He sees that it's 3 zealots coming out, and now Xin is aware of what's coming. I like how he branches off 1 zealot and sends the other 2 back, and this may be able to sneakily get into Gosudark's main.
Yeah, and this is good because usually when you go for this opener, you just make the 3 zealots and then quickly go into gas and dragoons. So branching off 1 zealot like this, it looks like Gosudark can make a 4th and 5th zealot. So he's doing what OyA did in their first match. Doesn't see he's not looking at the mini map, and this can be catastrophic here.
Nice probe movement right there, or probe block on the natural, and those zealots just waltzed across the map. I don't think Gosudark's paying attention because he's microing on the ramp. Okay, now he realized that there's a zealot and a probe in the main. So far, no damage done, but that zealot is extremely low for Xin. He's going to have to actually retreat to his main. He's got a battery already set up, though, and this harassment from Xin hasn't actually killed anything, but it has been quite annoying.
That's 3 zealots versus just a 1. It's interesting because in this scenario, you actually just want to make zealots and not dragoons. They build faster. They don't have range, but with the shield battery, you should be able to beat a similar number of zealots. And on the other side of the map, we see the zealot actually gets killed. And, well, it's like Gosudark committing there, even seeing the shield battery. He's going to be forced to retreat, or is he? Another zealot pops out.
I didn't see that zealot coming across the map, and I think Gosudark would win this fight if he engages. That shield battery should have used up all its energy now. I don't think it will really heal that much, if even heal at all. You can see supplies are basically identical. It's 30 to 30. I imagine that the probe count is also the same too. First goon is going to pop out. We see Gosudark has popped a single probe, and the probe drill is great. He's going to catch that zealot and limit it to just 1 kill. That was nicely done. And with the first 2 goons out for Xin, he should have easily held this.
Yeah, and I don't know about continuing to...
Oh!
Okay. Quick DT. Of course, these zealots allow him to get scouting information here.
Xin just used his 150 gas. That's range, and this is basically a repeat of last game, but this time around, Xin doesn't get any intel onto what Gosudark is doing, so his robo is going to be extremely, extremely delayed. Unless there's a forge here, I think this is game set match for Gosudark.
And I like Gosudark retreating here, and the reason why Jin is doing this is because he's killed so many zealots. He knows he has a superior army count, and there's no threat of him dying to an attack. The only thing you do when you do this, though, is you are not getting any detection, and I don't see any forge. It's going to be robo here.
Yeah. And he doesn't have any gas for it. Like, he's saving it up, but he's been building, I think, another round of goons here, and that's hurting him so bad. He desperately needs a forge. He doesn't even have anything to scout. He didn't like poke with a goon to check if Gosudark got range. He's completely in the dark, just playing very, very defensive, and unbeknownst to him, the invisible man is coming.
Yeah, DTs should be already on the way. Robo just started, and well, I mean, DCTs, I think they just outright end the game. It's hard. Like, if he blocks the ramp, he'll have enough time. But he's got to go. He's got to react. He's got to be looking at his units right now.
And he's not. He's like in the middle of transferring probes, and that is probably going to be lights out for Xin here, unless you can even focus down the robo. I didn't even think about that. Instantly out of there, and that means Gosudark, he's game. Well, 0 points out of a 7-minute game, so the predictions from Seriosity are on point, and Gosudark is 1 game away from making it out of this group.
I mean, risk taking against Gosudark, not like I'm not surprised. You don't know what kind of player Gosudark is until you played him once, but I think now his opponent's going to be a little bit better prepared, because I mean, again, it was a repeat of game 1 where the opponent is way ahead, but Gosudark manages to find a way to win.
Well, he just continues to push the issue. He would continue to all in, try and catch you off guard, and he caught him off guard that time around. I mean, the whole time I was sitting there looking at the gas of Xin, I was like, okay, if I see 150 gas get spent here, this game's done. And that's exactly what happened. And I kind of don't think actually Xin has a complete read here. I think that build from Gosudark was kind of cheesy, but not like absurdly cheesy like some of the moves he does. So Xin may underestimate the all-in potential from series.
You gotta remember this gas was actually very delayed because the one solid one probe that got in forced Gosudark probes off gas. So it's not like this was fast DT or anything. It was just like the Protoss didn't expect DTs in this scenario. You go expansion right away because your opponent just threw away a lot of units and just got really caught off guard there.
Yeah, well, we'll see what Xin wants to pick for his last, for his map choice. He needs to pick something good versus Gosudark, because otherwise he's going to be out and into the deciders match. We saw yesterday someone pick Metaverse. I have a feeling that won't be picked, but I guess with no intel from Xin, it could be picked by him. What about Monopoly? How does this map play out for PvP? Do you think you could see something like Monopoly here?
Probably not. Not anything specific about the matchups, just map preferences. I think something like Eclipse, for a map that's been in the ladder for such a long time.
Yeah, in general, we see BSL players just stick to ladder map pool, kind of not venturing out into the unknown unless they have to. And there it is. That's going to be Eclipse. So let's get into game 2 of our series. Gosudark one game away from making it into the round of 16. Okay, in the top right, our blue Protoss player. It is Gosudark.
In the bottom left, we have the red Chin. On this map, I don't expect double gateway to be seen. Just the rush distance is so long, your opponent's got you right away.
Well, I agree. We may not see the double gate, but remember yesterday we saw Jaeyun go for a pressure build, and then even though it was PVT, we did see Quark go for proxy gates versus Gypsy. So I guess there is always potential for something like that. And I mean, when I played this map, I think the first PvP I played was a guy cannon rushed me behind my main. It doesn't look like anybody's going to be going for that move, but that was a tilter. I was like, oh yeah, I want to play some Protoss today. And instantly, we went back to Terran after that one.
Alright, both players just making the pylon in the main. Now, Gosudark, we haven't seen his 3 gate ups, because that's another build he likes to do. Just really power those Dragoons and try to kill the Protoss outright. This isn't a good map for it. Usually you do that on maps that don't have a ramp, something like Sylphid, potentially even Ascension. Both players going for a Gateway Scout. And there's the gas from... Nope, no gas from Gosudark.
Hey, well, this might be 2 gate because he's floating almost 150 minerals. Nope, that is going to be a gas follow-up, and that's going to be a gas from Xin. Now, I noticed that this is a 12 gas instead of like an 11 gas, which I see sometimes Protoss players pull out. So this is going to be, I imagine, at least 1 Zealot, right? Maybe potentially 2 or 3.
I think it's going to be the core Zealot opener instead of, both players going for the core here. If you see the core going down at, when the gate finishes right away, it's just going to be the Zealot follow-up right after, most likely. Like we already see one Protoss on 16 supply. That means he made a Zealot. And, well, no Zealot made here.
Well, both players saw that they're pretty much doing the exact same opener, yet something triggered Gosudark to skip the Zealot. And that means that I would say he's got a somewhat slight advantage, especially if he can kill that probe. Oh my gosh. Like, keeping the probe alive in Gosudark's main is almost as important as keeping the probe alive in Zerg versus Protoss. Like, you need to have it alive as long as possible.
Well, I think the call is he's not going for anything early, any kind of early aggression, so I won't need the Zealot. That can backfire if you get Manor Pylon, but we haven't seen a Manor Pylon here at all. Now, both players should be leaving the Ming now before the Dragoon pops. You don't want to lose a probe to get in for those extra seconds of scouting information. There it is. You see the core spitting.
That's weapon. That's not range. He only spent 100 gas.
Oh.
There it is. There it is. There, you gotta be careful with this guy, man. Oh, okay. Double DT. You don't get to see this often. Now, let's say you get in this scenario. You're obviously not going to be aware that the other player is going DT. How do you react to this? A lot of players put a DT on the ramp, but what if you can't do that?
You have to go Forge. And that's basically it. You have to go Forge if you don't know what your opponent's doing like they are, and both in this scenario. Now, if you see a pylon at the natural from your opponent, you know they're going DT, because there's literally no reason other than that to get a pylon at your natural. So we see the scout, saw no pylon at the natural, just saw a couple dragoons. Doesn't look like DT at all. And both players going DTs. We could end up in a scenario I've only seen twice, where it's actually neither players goes for Forge, and you get the DTs in the main. And then what happens in that scenario? Like, who wins? And basically, the players go to a third with one probe and camp one DT at the ramp and just make a pylon, and it can't be broken.
Oh my gosh, he sees a Nexus. Now, that Nexus feels like he would be too early if you were going for a Robo. Maybe not. I don't play PvP enough, but this may have already tipped him off. Okay, nope, it did not tip him off at all. He's going 3-gate, and actually Zin's the one with the Forge. And this is going to be very, very close. I think DT's not going to be in time before the cannon completes.
Yeah, so the thing is, this, for Gosudark, has completely gone wrong, because he misread the build. There's 1-gate Robo, you get a Nexus at this time, but no one goes 1-gate Robo and just has Dragoons to defend. You really need a Reaver. So Jin is going to have this cannon. Now, the cannon can get killed if it's only one. If it's two, the best Gosudark can go for is a run by. But the problem is, he's not going to be able to take his own natural. At best, he can block his ramp, but then he's just going to be contained for a very long time. You got to look at your DTs at this moment.
Yeah.
When they're in the middle of the map. I wonder if either player is looking there.
We didn't see any reaction from either one. That cannon, oh my god, the timing is absolutely perfect for Zen, and that means that these DTs are not going to get in. I mean, they may be able to kill some probes and just force the probes back, but definitely not getting into the main. Meanwhile, main completely open, no Forge, no Robo, Goons on hold position, trying, nope, that's GG, and Gosudark unfortunately going to fall, and Zen, he's going to tie it up 1-1.
Yeah, so perfect Forge timing there for Chin. And you can see, if you're going DT, you have to go for cannons if you don't know what your opponent's doing.
Yeah, I mean, it was just too greedy from Gosudark. You kind of play on a nice edge when you play something like that. If they build DT, you insta-lose. They don't build DT, you have a massive advantage. And unfortunately for Gosudark, he got punished there. But this doesn't mean he's out just yet. It is tied 1-1, and now it's his map pick. So knowing Gosudark and knowing he's got interesting strategies, maybe he has something planned for one of the unique maps like Metaverse, Turbine, Monopoly. We've still got Good Night, or not Good Night, we've still got Butter and Ascension in the map pool too.
I think Ascension is probably the goal here. It's a rampless map. If you're going to be going for any kind of aggression, you really want that. Could also see Butter just because it's a 2-player map, but because the rush distances are so long in comparison, I think Ascension is definitely the pick.
Yeah, when you were talking about how Gosudark likes to go for the 3-gate, I was instantly thinking, okay, this Ascension, that's going to be the map, or Butter, that's going to be the map, because of what you said about Eclipse, where there's ramps. You know, it's very hard to make a 3-gate work on that particular map. At least Ascension and Butter, there's no ramps, so I think for sure we've got to see one of those two maps get picked, but you know, you never know. There could be something up Gosudark's sleeve.
And that was a 6-minute game, so we're at a total of 14 minutes into this best of 3.
I mean, I'm fine with that. You want to speed run through the group? Get me out of this group in 2 hours? I'm fine with that. That's like as fast as an all ZVZ group.
And here we have player profiles. Once again, Gosudark. Again, can he go into the round of 16 again? He's one game away. And yeah, I mean, unless it's the ZVZs we saw, I think it was last week between, were you able to watch that Crossy against Avilov, where we got like Hive, Hydras, Ultras, Queens?
I thought somebody had a massive advantage, and then I like kind of skipped through and it went split map, or it went, you know, mid to late game, but I didn't see all of it. But that's crazy. You told me just Queens, Hydras, and Ultras?
Yeah. We got
Okay.
we got to see Broodling. Broodling on Lurkers, Broodling on Ultras. We even saw a Proxy Nidus take out a base. I mean,
Oh, yeah, I did see somebody trying to proxy the Nidus, but it got denied. I didn't see actually one of them connect, but that's crazy. I've never seen Broodling Ultras or Plagued Lurkers. I have seen Plagued Mutas or Devourers splashing all the
you don't know how many, like, I think Cross just found out you can't Plague burrowed units, because so many times he tried to Plague burrowed Lurkers and just didn't, it doesn't do damage. And the other thing, like, Lurkers are actually broken. Nothing beats them in ZVZ except aerial units. You'd think Ultras with their 400 HP would do pretty well, but not even Ultras. Not even Ultras could do a good job against them. Just, there's nothing to beat Lurkers. It's kind of like tank versus tank. If your opponent is already set up, you're going to take inefficient trades. And the map is actually going to be Monopoly.
Yeah, I can't believe it. We're going to get another glimpse at Monopoly, so let's find out who's making it out of Group F in first place. Okay, in the bottom middle, our red Chinese Protoss player, it is Xin.
And in the top left, we have Gosudark.
Yeah, Lurkers and ZVZ are just absolutely bonkers. Like, there's no amount of armor that Lings can get where they don't get two-shot. And there's no other unit that can get on top of the Lurkers if there's Dark Swarm. I mean, I guess Ultras, yeah, but you're never going to have just one Lurker. You know, you've always got like 3 or 4, and then all of a sudden Ultras aren't even that good either. I mean, Lurkers are just insane with Dark Swarm, especially in ZVZ. Now, 3-player map, Monopoly, it is an ASL map, so, you know, if Zen and Mihu and players like them play versus each other and actually want to do like practice games on ASL maps, they may have more experience than Gosudark here. I'm not sure how much experience he has, but it is his pick, so he must have something planned.
Yeah, we'll see, because nothing about this map really stands out in PvP. The Island Expo is basically untakeable. You never want to take it in PvP. Just hard to defend against harass, basically. And Gateway Scout from both players. Or actually only from Gosudark this time around.
Oh, I think that's going to be a second gate for Zen. Oh, I thought he left his probe up there. Okay, yeah,
Yep.
It is going to be a second gate from Zen. But we saw yesterday Quark really prioritize his econ in PvP especially, and this time around Zen is going to prioritize his econ a little bit more than Gosudark here. Going to go for a later scout. Luckily for Gosudark, I guess he's going to get last scouted, but it's still a 3-player map, so still Zen's going to, you know, find him quite quickly.
Well, Gosudark is doing the same build that he did against OyA, where he goes Zealot right away and then gas second pylon, and he really delays the core, but this allows him to non-stop produce Zealots. So if he is facing something like this where Protoss is going to attack with 3 Zealots, he's going to have his own 3 Zealots on the ramp by the time they get there. So just a nice build order counter, basically. Soft counter.
Yeah, this feels like a really good opener from Gosudark. Now, he can't get in here, so he's decided, well, I'm just going to steal your money. And he's going to waltz away with 8 minerals for free. I'm sure that's going to have psychological effects on Zen right now. He's going to be tilted like, no, dude, I'm going to get you. I'm going to pay you back. I wonder if he mines the mineral up at Gosudark's base. It looks like Zen has been denied into the main also. And okay, Gosudark does get some intel. He does see the 3 Zealots moving out.
Ooh, I like this. He's hiding his second zealot, so really not giving away any intel on what he's doing. And is this gonna be a pylon for a shield battery? I'm not really sure.
I think it is. Now, meanwhile, I have to point out, Gosudark has a ton of gas. He has 300 gas already, and the cybernetics just finished. So I have no idea where this is going to go. First goon got produced right there. I'm waiting to see a big chunk of gas get spent. There's no way.
Be awkward. Yeah, the 2 probes helping out as well. You really want to target the 2 zealots on one, and then one will be fighting the other one alone. Looks like it's just going to be a trade here. The probes from Gosudark helping out a lot more actually, and well, 2 zealots get killed. Gosudark only loses.
Gosudark's got a probe in the guy's name. Oh, he's going to show it. I was hoping we were going to see proxy BT or something like that.
Or maybe a cannon rush.
Yeah, cannon rush. That would be amazing.
3-gate. It's just going to be 3-gate goon. The probe is alive, so he has full scouting information. And this is actually critical because the normal follow-up from this... actually, why does Protoss have so many minerals?
Yeah, he has a ton of money. Oh, is he trying to build a Nexus? I was going to say, it feels like this is super dangerous versus Gosudark.
Yeah, just a robo.
Yeah, I felt like it had to be a robo because he didn't see anything. Like, he didn't even see the goon pop out with his zealots. So he has no idea. And yet, still no range. All right, well, yesterday we saw Observer.
Look, this is cute. Just killing the eggs. But I'm a little bit concerned with this lack of range.
Well, by the time Gosudark gets across the map, I mean, range should be done for Xin, right? And also, Gosudark's going to be fighting uphill. If he commits, of course.
And there's a robo. And I guess he just skipped range to get the faster robo. And he wants to go probably Observer into Reaver.
Yeah,
and then expand. That makes the most sense here. And if against someone who's gotten DT in 3 of the games in this group, this is not a surprise at all.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I think that this build order definitely makes sense from what Xin has seen versus Gosudark, and it's not unlikely that these players have not played versus each other because, you know, Gosudark and Xin both have similar MMRs. I'm sure they've hit each other at some point, but may not have realized it. That probe does confirm range is done, though, so that will at least give Xin a little bit of confidence that, hey, this may not be DT this time around because this guy actually got range this time.
Well, I think he wants to expand here. Was that a Nexus that went down?
That is.
Yeah. Oh,
that
man.
is.
Oh, there's so many Dragoons from Gosudark. He has the 2 Zealots as well remaining from earlier. And I don't see a support bay anywhere.
Yep, and there's a single goon advantage, I think, or actually 2 goon advantage for Gosudark right now. And 8 goons, I think, one-shot a goon? So, or maybe almost one-shot. Wow, I'm surprised that Xin was able to actually escape there with all his goons. 1 falls, but he's at least going to force a cancel here, and that's going to give Gosudark a huge arc, and behind this, he's going to take advantage of that. He's going to put down a Nexus for himself.
Oh, and this one goon is actually way too far forward. Can actually get spotted, and well, high ground mischance. Gosudark not targeting either. It's 5 versus 7, but I think the 5 should win here pretty easily. Whoa.
Gosudark's
now it's 5 versus 3. 5 versus 3 is a lot worse for the defender, but the mischance.
Yeah, look at that goon on the right side just not connecting. Okay, now a bunch of them connected, and now Gosudark gets in. One of the goons are on high ground. A forced probe pull. It's now 4 goons versus 1. Shuttle pops out, but there's no Reaver here. Goons are racking up a lot of kills onto the probes. He's even going to lose that shuttle. That's an expensive building to lose, or expensive unit to lose 200 minerals down the drain.
I really like this micro from Gosudark. He was pulling the Dragoon out of range and bringing it back. It was low HP, but because it wasn't being targeted, it was able to get full damage. And I mean, even if Gosudark retreats here, I think he's in a great position. He's already gotten enough done. He's forced the cancel, and he already expanded himself.
You know what the funniest part about this is? Gosudark's down supply, and he's down a lot of supply, even though he has like an even goon count. So I guess Zen just has way more probes. Yeah, look at that. He has 9 probes mining his main and only 6 of the natural. This is the Gosudark special.
Yeah, and I actually think Jin should cut probes. He doesn't really need any more. He's gonna expand eventually, but at this current stage, he just needs to break out and expand. Doesn't need these extra probes that he's making. And Gosudark is desperately needs probes now. He has 2 full mineral lines he needs to saturate.
Yeah, he needs to ramp up that probe production for sure. First Reaver's out, and I'm not sure if Gosudark. Okay, he does have a sort of support bay himself, so his Reaver timing should be similar, or at least matching the Reaver timing once he gets across the map for
getting that. Not only the shuttle is actually massive, because now the Reaver could actually be engaging these Dragoons without being scared of getting sniped. But getting the Observer was also pretty big, because now Gosudark has full scouting information. If the Jin wants to get rid of it, he has to make an Observer of his own, which he doesn't really want to do. He just wants to make shuttles and Reavers at this point.
Well, Gosudark, even though he has that natural, he does need to be careful to not be undersaturated on his probes. He really does need to build, I would say, even just 3 probes in his main would be enough.
Oh!
Reavers kill 3 goons for free.
This is a way of an overextension. He does get the Observer, which is really annoying here. Like, you need the scouting, but trading 3 goons for 1 Observer, I don't know if that's the best trade there.
Well, that's a good trade. The Reavers just aren't firing. That ramp coming into play, just not sending out the Scarab for some reason, and that should be a tilter for Zen, because, you know, Gosudark, he's got his Nat up and running, but that means he also has to defend 2 position. If there was a Reaver drop into the main of Gosudark, he could pick him apart. And this is a sizable army moving across the map.
Not only did that Reaver not shoot, none of the Dragoon shots missed.
Yeah. It made up for all those shots on the ramp earlier that missed.
All right, so I like how Gosudark has some Dragoons on the right side. You don't want to get behind your choke, because then the attacking Protoss has a really nice concave. This is 2 Reavers. There's no shuttle though. There's a shuttle finally for Gosudark, and that's 2 huge Scarabs. I think that alone will force away the Protoss attack. But now Gosudark has some units cut off. It's got to be migrating at 2 fronts here, and this Chin is expanding. He's gonna pick off 1 stray Dragoon.
Yeah, but now behind this, Zen is gonna start taking his naturals, so he's gonna get his econ rolling once that kicks in. And remember, I still haven't seen that Nexus blink at all in his main or his natural. Well, I guess his natural has blinked a little bit. Looks like good saturation there, but another 2 goons are going to bleed off, and those 5 goons on the right side got a couple of goon kills too. So Gosudark has done a really good job. Oh my gosh, the Reaver unloads into the natural, gets like 4 probes there. Nice connection.
Yeah, now the stray Dragoons that... Oh, he's gonna get this shuttle. It's not the best retreat path. Okay, just barely able to pull it away. Well, I gotta say, Gosudark, despite having this Nexus up for a lot... Oh, this is a rally! It's a really bad rally here.
Oh my gosh. He's gonna
lose. Another 3 Dragoons have been bled off. But look at Gosudark's probe saturation here at the natural. It's non-existent. The main is about at healthy saturation, so that means he's down maybe like 15 workers here.
Yeah, the Reaver harassment at the... Oh, that's a rally from Gosudark, but he gets rewarded with... No, maybe he won't get rewarded. Yeah, I think it is broken, because I think Gosudark would have transferred his probes by now, but maybe not. Okay. This is a replay? No. Oh, well, I don't know. Gosudark just now transferred. Okay, I'm unsure.
Money just got spent. I mean, but this Reaver, why is it walking? The rallies, I don't know, it's all walking.
Yeah, okay, this is... This is on. Okay, that would never happen. That would. There's no way one shuttle would go by itself like that Rambo style. Okay, so. All right. Well, I guess we'll come back and. The game just ended. Okay, man. I'm gonna be so disappointed if we come back and we see a Rambo Reaver get suicided on the natural and then a GG come out. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll rewind maybe like 2 minutes or so once.
We gotta see from the attack on, right?
Yeah.
From when the shuttle harassed to basically from there, because we never saw the transfer until really late.
Yeah, that sounds good. So we'll be there in just a second. It looked like, I mean, I felt like Zin's attack was going to be killer. It just felt like he had so much stuff. Okay, here we go. There's the drop. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. I thought that Reaver was going to connect and kill both of them. And look at Gosudark probe. It's 25 to 35, dude. Well, here we go. We definitely didn't see this move.
Double Reaver from Gosudark, double Reaver from Jin. He should actually have more Reavers if he's kept his robo production active, going up to 6 gates.
Well, there's army advantage for Gosudark. Right now, however, the shuttle is very far forward, but Xin does not have a shuttle with his army just yet, but there's a full surround from Gosudark. However, Xin has his other his own Reavers unload, and actually Xin has an overwhelming amount of goons somehow. The shuttle gets sniped and the 2 goons in the back fall down, and that means that Zin's gonna clean up this army, and now he's up 10 workers, he's up army like 8 goon advantage, and he's up Reavers, and Gosudark didn't even transfer probes that whole time.
Here comes the Rambo Reaver from earlier.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, and that Reaver was actually just rallied across the map, but we know why, because he thought he just needed to reinforce his position, but he loses his whole army, and this is an unstoppable comp, and this is going to be Zen moving on into the round of 16.
There's a Reaver unloading, getting a lot of scarab shots. Dragoon count is equal, but here come the reinforcements, and that'll do it. And I mean, Gosudark was so close. I felt like he really had it once he broke the nat, forced to cancel.
Yeah, I also thought he had. I thought, okay, well, he's got his nat. I mean, he's just going to start running away with it. But you got to build probes at your nat if you want to start running away with it in the econ. I mean, 35 probes on one base is oversaturation. But if we were to look at the replay statistics, probably Zen would have outmined him just simply because of how low Gosudark's probe count was.
Yeah, and well, a little bit unfortunate, but he's still not out of it. Still has another chance. He's gonna go up against the winner of the next series. And well, if you're OyA, you gotta be watching these games and just realize, okay, I can't lose in the first 6 minutes, and then I'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, Gosudark has an amazing advantage, and I would think the same thing. It's like, okay, well, this guy just doesn't build his econ, so just play like 2-gate robo that Quark played, and I think you're good to go versus someone like Gosudark. But before we see that matchup, of course, we're going to be going into Jiren versus OyA, and OyA may not even make it because Jiren's a formidable opponent. But before we get into that, we're going into a break, and then we'll be back and find out who's going to face off versus Gosudark in the elimination match.
It's actually 58, but it's
58?
Yeah, it like the statistics say 48, but if you look at the head-to-head, it'll actually be reflected accurately with 58.
Okay, I missed that then.
Well, no surprise here. Gateway scout from OyA, and this is something he likes to do. He checks the overlord, doesn't go to a natural. He checks if the overlord is coming or not, and then he'll send the probe to another base. And it's going to be an 11 hatch from Jiren, and this is already looking good because it's cross map against 1 gate. Zerg will have enough time. And in the first game, Jiren actually had immaculate game, a defense against the 1 gate from Chin. So we'll see what he can do here cross map against OyA.
Yeah, and cross spawn, I think it's like 8 seconds slower than a vertical or horizontal rush distance. So 8 seconds, that's like half the production time of the lane. So yeah, this will definitely be a great opener for Jiren. Now, thinking back to last game, I would say he went into like faster hatcheries and his lair was kind of delayed, right? It was kind of like, honestly, it was kind of an in-between type of build that I haven't seen before. Like, it wasn't fast fire, but it wasn't the fastest third hatch I've ever seen. It was very, very unique, my opinion, simply because I haven't seen it. I guess we'll probably see something similar. Now, he has multiple options here. He could take the mineral only. He could take top middle. He could go split map. I've even seen more and more people do this on maps like Metaverse, but it looks like this time around it's going to be a top middle hatch.
Yeah, and OyA actually made a second Zealot, not the Nexus right away. So this second Zealot is usually not made because it's not guaranteed to get anything done. Basically, Zerg already started the links. This one Zealot is just here to buy time so Protoss can forge and cannon and gas and tech up behind us. Can he get one drone? One drone is usually what you're looking to get here.
Oh, look at that. Slick Zealot probe combo, and Zealots will two-shot lings if a probe can get off a single shot there. And also, I don't know if you noticed that, but the probe can even hit the drone through the minerals because that's just what probes can do. Look at that. How a lot of people make like tier lists of units. How could probe possibly not be S tier right here? He might even snipe that drone because Jiren doesn't realize it.
Yeah,
look at him go. Oh! Oh my gosh! The Zealot doesn't even get the kill. It's the probe.
Yeah, and this Zealot is gonna end up getting 6 lings. So 6 lings and 1 drone. And we actually had a gas steal from Babo, but this is pretty low impact gas steal here. So that's 1 less drone, and you actually see Babo drone count is really low. He has all this gas, but can't even go lair. Doesn't have the minerals for it.
Yeah, like you stated, that extractor could have been another drone. So now he's really lost 2 drones since he lost the one in the natural. And that's really, really going to hurt his econ going into the mid game. We already saw him struggle versus Xin transitioning into the mid and late game. And remember, on the Ascension game, I mean, he had perfect defense actually versus the Zealot. So I'm really worried for him going up against OyA going into the mid game. At least the lair is going to match the cybernetics this time around, though. So this time, Corsairs won't be that much of a nuisance.
Okay, but look at this. Once OyA hits 5 Zealots, he's going to move out. Babo's currently supply block. So once he gets on supply block, what is he going to make? Drones. Then he's not going to have that much larval left over to make links to deal with these 5 Zealots.
This is a painful supply block. Like, it's absolutely painful. Now he's building more drones. You can see that he built drones at his natural, which is good because he has no drones there. You want to saturate that base more than oversaturating the main, of course. So really nice focus there. Good attention to detail to make sure that drones pop up there. Stargate going down. Spire should be coming down pretty soon because that lair was matching the cyber timing.
Oh, it's gonna get in. Or is it? Yeah, it's gonna get in. It's gonna see the lair timing, see it's not hydrogen, confirms the Spire, and these links still don't have speed. I think that's how poor Babo's been, that he can't even afford to get the speed upgrade.
Yeah. I agree. And if Zealots moved out right now, look at the vision of Babo. There's none, and there's no speed, and he knows there's only.
Oh, just finished. It just finished. So 6-minute speed is actually really late, but it's not gonna hurt him this game. OyA hasn't moved out at all, and well, Babo is droning up finally, but everything's just like, I don't know, 45 to a minute delayed.
Yeah, OyA's in an amazing position. I mean, his tech is slightly slow simply because of the gas steal, but everything is pretty much going pretty smoothly for him. He's got 7 Zealots right now. He's got +1 coming. It's not done just yet, but in a minute or so, it should complete. And I'm sure the move out will be coming any moment now.
I feel like Babo in this situation has to go for Mutalisk and just delay. Okay, it's making creeps already. Yeah, he's gotta go Mutalisk. You gotta delay the Protoss attack, and one way to get that is you get air superiority with your first Scourge and Mutas, and it kind of nullifies the Zealots.
Yeah, that's really his only option. There's so many zealots. He can't engage them with hydras, of course. Can't engage them with lings because the zealots are already going to have +1. So it has to be mutas, has to be sunkens. Got to be careful with the Ser. He is going to fall back.
Critically, the Ser didn't scout, because if
Yeah.
you see one creep at this timing, you see a second gas, you don't see a hydrogen, 100% you know it's muta. You gotta go double cannon here, and very important not to lose a single Corsair here.
Well, I think OyA is aware of who he's playing and aware of the damage he's already done. So he already has cannon done in his main. He's got a cannon coming up at his natural, and he's continuously building Corsairs, and he has +1 weapon. So the muta switch, or really not even a switch, just the muta follow-up, is not going to do any damage. We've got drones coming out at the same time, so not an overcommit. Well, maybe it is an overcommittal. That's 6 mutas right now, and you only need 5 to one-shot probes.
This is going to be a big investment into mutas. It's not going to be just a 5 muta opener. It's probably going to make a lot more third gas on the way, and he can actually afford a 6 hatch here if he wanted to, but this is a lot of drones mining gas, not mining minerals, so it's very costly to open up for this. But OyA, you saw he went double cannon, 1 in the main, 1 into natural right away. Lots of zealot moving out. If he has enough Corsairs to fight the Mutalisks and Scourge, there's literally nothing Babo has on the ground to contest this number of zealots.
Oh, and he's going to bleed off 2 Scourge. That's going to be painful. The mutas softened up a lot of the zealots, but there are so many zealots right now. It's like 12 to 13 zealots, double sunken with a decent Sim City. May prevent zealots from getting into the natural, but the third base is pretty open. No, maybe not. The zealots are just going to go for it. Remember, they do have +1, and there's not that many mutas. The mutas just have to run from the Sayers, and that means that the zealots get on top of the sunkens, and if OyA even branches off a couple zealots into the main, he could ransack the drone line.
I could even get the Spire here. And the Corsairs really just need to kill the Scourge before engaging the Mutalisks. You don't want it the other way around. And there, the Scourge are dead. Now the Mutalisks are completely exposed. And like you said, here are the Zealots in the main, in the natural. Mutalisks can't defend both locations, and they've been getting killed by all the Corsairs.
And look at that control. He even saves the Sayers from the Scourge. Now he's moving shot the Sayers into the mutas while the Scourge are trailing. This guy's a madman. Meanwhile, the Zealots are racking up so many kills. He's almost obliterated the entire drone line, and he kills all the mutas. What was that? Moving shot Corsairs and avoiding the Scourge?
That's pretty high level play there from OyA. It's not the easiest thing to do because you really have to control every single attack. If the Corsairs ever stop, they just get picked off by the Scourge, and the Zealots just did so much damage. And behind that, you already had like 6 gateways and the archives on the way. So just fantastic position all around from OyA.
Yeah, that was nuts. I've never seen anybody be that confident in their Ser control when they see Scourge and they see mutas. Those were definitely not, what do they call it? Doman Corsairs. I know a lot of Koreans make fun of best Corsair usage, but that was definitely not Doman Corsairs. He did insane damage. And now Jiren's down 0-1, and OyA made it look easy. There was no threat from Jiren onto OyA the entire game.
Yeah, that one Zealot, 1 probe at the beginning got so many links, got 1 drone, and then Jiren got supply blocked, and it was actually brutal of a supply block there. And OyA made it look easy. Just did his build and hit a timing and had really good control with the Corsairs and just won from that.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, if you didn't have confidence before that coming into the series, you're going to have confidence now because you just, like you said, you just nailed the build and this guy died. Like, there's like almost no better feeling to just know you completely dominated this guy. So OyA going into game 2 should be feeling amazing, and Jiren really needs to think about what map he wants to pick, what's his opener going to be, because as I stated earlier, versus Xin, he had perfect defense and he still died. Xin just had an overwhelming army. This time around, he took a little bit of damage and got completely run over. So maybe he needs to switch it up from the 11 hatch play, going to like an early pool and kind of test OyA's multitask in the early game.
Yeah, and We haven't seen 3-hatch Hydra. I think that's definitely also an option here because Babo is someone who likes to open up 3-hatch Hydra and then go mutas and then more Hydras. That's usually what most of its games looks like. But when you're on the back foot like that in CVP, it can become hard. And I did like the muta, the choice to give muta, but OyA was more than, I mean, he knows, he's read the scouting report. He knows who he's going up against.
Yeah, as I've stated, Jiren is just known to have insane mutas, so I was not surprised to see it here. I'm hoping that we get to see something like Eclipse. Oh, we're back. Alright, we're just getting a look at the bracket again. As you see, G-Dizzle waiting in the elimination match. It's looking like it's going to be OyA because that was complete domination from him. But Jiren, he's no slouch. I guess once he can get into the mid and late game, but early game it just hasn't gone well for him. I'm hoping we get to see Eclipse, as I stated. I don't think we're going to see that. I don't think I've ever seen Zerg win on that. We still have Butter. Still have. What else do we have? Oh, we still have Turbine. I'm still waiting for Turbine, man. That's the map that has another base in your main. You seen any games on that map just yet?
No, not a lot. But I think Butter, the thing about Butter is you have to play a certain way. But Butter can be a very good CVP map because there's a lot of high grounds you can control in the middle of the map, and close to Protoss's rally that have that allows Zerg the potential to contain Protoss. Something like Benzing, if you remember that map. Like, Protoss has a difficult time on Benzing because if Zerg ever gets control of the high ground, they can't attack up there, and the other path is just too far away. They have to go that way, and they just easily get countered. But no, it's just going to be Eclipse, and I think this is a decent map for both races, to be honest. There's not a lot of imbalance here.
Yeah, I think this is the stats, 45% win rate. So let's see if OyA closes it out or if Jiren can bring it back to 1-1. Okay, in the top right, our Zerg player. He needs to win here, otherwise he's eliminated. It's Jiren.
And in the bottom left, we have OyA. And, well, OyA has a special build on this map. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
What is it?
It's the... So he'll automatically pylon the third base and then go to the net to deny the hatchery. And then Zerg is in a position where they can't take either base. But looks like he's not going to go for that. Just probably going to go...
He tried his first pylon?
No, his second pylon. Like he'll scout really fast and go there. But he gets to the natural of Zerg before they can get an 11 hatch down. And then when they sent that drone to the third, the drone spots a pylon there and can't take either base. So something he's done a lot, and it actually backfired against him because I think it was against Eon Zerg or maybe Zeke in the All-Star race-off. But they were prepared. But it's something that if you've never seen before, it freaks you out because then you're kind of in a bind.
Yeah, you would probably be just mega tilted. Like, all right, you got me. Let's just go next. I don't want to waste another, I mean, it takes a long time to even travel to another base. It's like 20 seconds or something. Even if you go to top left, and that's like 1 or 2 larvae, you just lose and will never get back. Now, I like that Babo has mixed it up here. He's gone for the hatch first 2 games in a row. This time it is going to be the pool first, and this is going to keep OyA back, at least in the early stages.
Nice, doesn't get that delayed at all. Of course, when you're going over pool, getting that natural delay can be very annoying. And looks like Babo, the thing is, are you making 2 right off the bat, or 4 or 6? Looks like he's just gonna make the 2. And then, which means with overpool, after those 2 drones, you should see non-stop links to be able to contest the zealots that are moving across the map.
Well, Overlord does spot that this is a gateway expand, and first Zealot is moving across the map. Meanwhile, Probe coming down. We'll see if it's going to be the Nexus or Forge. Probably just going to be the Nexus with more Zealots coming out, and Probe on hold position on the ramp seems to be the common follow-up. And I like how OyA has branched off this Zealot, hiding it in the shadows. And of course, Jiren has no idea where it is right now.
Yeah. So, oh, actually gets that probes run. That's actually important because you need to confirm if Zerg is making nonstop lings. Are they droning up? What's their gas timing like? All these things are very important. But having this one zealot hidden is actually going to freak Zerg out because they are expecting it to be somewhere near their base. They don't know where it is, but they expect it to be somewhere. And this means Zerg is always going to have to keep 2 to 4 lings back at home just in case that zealot comes. And OyA having that one zealot on the ramp, this will just be good against from by, but looks like now with the Forge, he can seal this gap. It's only 6 lings. They're going to try to... Oh, actually,
What?
that's not a wall.
Oh
What?
my gosh, he missed it by 1 position. I think if it's down 1 more, there's no gap there because that small cliff you can see jutting out from the bottom actually prevents lings from running in. So unfortunate placement right there, but not going to take a lot of damage because he quickly took over that ramp with his probe and zealot.
Well, unfortunate losing another scouting probe there, but that's a moment where you freak out.
Yeah.
As Protoss, you're like, oh no. But it wasn't a lot of links, so you can see Babo kept a lot of links back at home because he didn't know where that zealot was. And now with 4 zealots and the Forge already done, there's nothing he can do. Zerg. So in this scenario, just lair, really favoring that lair play. And well, there's the cybernetics core. It's almost done. I don't think the timing is too terrible here for Zerg. This is cybernetics core before cannon, which is quite fast, but if Zerg can hide their overlords effectively, shouldn't see more than 1 overlord being killed.
Yeah, and I'm sure Jiren will be able to save the majority of the overlords. Now that overlord is going deep, and it is not long for the world once the Ser actually gets out. First, well, 2 of the zealots are moving out to put a little bit of pressure on. We see Jiren actually has a decent amount of lings, like 12 or so. So, oh, those 3 moved out through the side. Very sneaky. Now, I think OyA has to be careful. Like, obviously, we know Jiren's not ling all inning, but he's always got to be careful. Like, okay, this guy knows there's a gap on the right side of the gateway. Is he actually ling all inning me? Because if it's somebody like Eon Zerg, that's definitely in the repertoire.
Yeah, the other thing is he doesn't actually know what this is. Both of his scouting probes got killed pretty quickly. And, well, there's links finishing. That's 10 lings. That's enough to deal with these 3 slow lots. Unless they get into a fantastic position like behind the middle line. But I like how he's branching off one zealot into the main. Gets 1 drone that suicidally goes behind the middle line. But now he's getting full scouting information for 3 zealots, 1 drone, even a few links. I think this is definitely worthwhile for Protoss.
I don't think he realizes there's a zealot in the main. Okay, he does. 2 are coming in here. But there, oh, he may even get another drone. Look at that stutter step, Mike. Oh, he mistargeted. The 3rd shot doesn't get another drone. But I at least got 1 and got the intel that you were talking about.
Now it's kind of tight here to be able to kill 1 overlord. And he might be able to get this one. I think the Scourge will pop just a little bit too late. And there's another overlord on the left side of the map that is maybe under threat as well.
Why
Go
ahead.
Yeah, that second Sarah is actually holding back, just staying there. I think he could have gotten that second overlord. But 1 overlord getting killed. Second gas hydrogen on the way for Babo, and this looks standard from Babo.
I thought that second building next to the Stargate was going to be another Stargate, because actually I've seen more and more pros these days go into a second Stargate. So I was a little excited for that, but it's actually just a second gateway. Evolution Chamber coming down. Citadel's already done in an interesting spot too. And of course, OyA not slouching on his Corsair production versus someone like Jiren. Haven't seen a Hydra, I think. Oh, yeah, at the natural there is a Hydra.
So this is going to be like an 8-minute timing for Protoss. Zerg is nicely droned up here. That Evolution Chamber is actually a little bit late though. And this is 2 gateway production, waiting for that 5th Sarah so you can effectively deal with the Scourge. And losing those 3 Zealot from earlier is going to mean this push has less punching power, but it's still going to be something like 10 Zealots.
Yeah, this is looking very similar to the last game. He moved out with something like 12 to 14 Zealots with +1. not really the 7:30 timing that we had seen, you know, in years past. And it really did just put an end to Jiren. And unfortunately, he's gotten supply blocked again. And it looks like he's only producing one Overlord. So he's going to get supply blocked again after that once he uses all 1,000 gas. Or 1,000 minerals, I mean. Yeah, there he goes. He's blocked again.
Well, surprised we're not seeing a move out here from OyA, because you really want to move out like when speed and +1 are 80% done, not when they finish. Here we go. There's the speed. Lings are retreating. Don't have +1 quite yet. This is 6 Corsairs. So, but that's a lot of Hydras, and this is good SimCity. But again, Babo is supply block. Like you said, he only made the one Overlord earlier. And again, he's only making one.
Yeah, he has no Sunkens either. I think that OyA, oh my gosh, he almost lost all of his stairs there. I think if OyA just goes, he can supply block Babo while killing the majority of the Hydras. I don't think he's going to get through all the Hydras, but I think he'll kill enough. And, okay, the Lings all die. The Hydras remain strong there. And actually, because all of the Overlords are at the 3rd base, the stairs are not going to get as many kills as I was expecting.
So nice defense from Babo, but again, permanently supply blocked. And there are the first 2 High Templars already on 6 gates here for OyA. That should be +1 armor on the way as well. Gotta be careful with these Corsairs, because you know with Babo, there's always the potential of a Muto follow-up.
Well, OyA, I think, may have overbuilt probes because his gateway flood is late. It's 9:30. He only has, what, 5 gates, if I saw correctly? And really, or okay, 6 gates. It's not that bad, but I was expecting all 7 or 8 gateways to be done. At least he does have Templars already built. He's banking up that energy already. He's got cannons coming, so he should be able to hold this. But he does need to connect with these storms, because this is a lot of Hydras.
Gotta be careful with the Zealots. Just want to have them on hold position. That storm is kind of a whiff, but he has another one, and he should have a 3rd storm pretty soon. You can see that 3rd gas right away. No 4th base. This is potential for Muta. It could just be Hydra Lurker here. There's a potential for Muta. And I like how Babo is approaching this. He only has 4 or 5 Hydras attacking. The majority are behind, and it is going to be Lurker. So potentially going to be a contained. Where's that Robo? Robo just started.
Yeah, I like this move. Oh my gosh. OyA must recognize or must suspect something. He moves out, and that's one of the best storms I've ever seen. Connects onto like 8 Hydras, 5 of them dying. And now he sees the Lurkers are morphing, but he doesn't have enough AoE. He doesn't have any goons to actually knock them down, and he doesn't have an observer. That's a fantastic storm. If he can connect one more right there, he will clean up 3 out of the 5 Lurkers. There go 3 of them, and that's exactly what he needed.
Yeah, now there's less potential for this Lurker contain to grow, and Hydras are bruised up here. There's no more Lurkers, only those 2. They can actually be ignored if OyA wants to move up, but again, he doesn't know how many Lurkers are behind us. But this gave him some breathing room. He's not behind his wall.
Yeah, he can actually get out into the center of the map and actually put pressure back on to Babo, because obviously there's not a lot of defense at the 3rd and natural anymore, because all of the units are... God, that is so many Zealots, man. Look how many it is. It's like 20 of them. If he had a single observer, he could easily take down all these Hydras and Lurkers.
Yeah, they're actually tearing through the Hydra list. There's almost none left.
Yeah, but without any observers, they're going to have to retreat for now. The first round of Dragoons are coming out. Range is coming in. It's not completed just yet. I saw the Robos already done, so observer should be coming any moment now. Looks like there's only a single storm. Oh, okay. No, there's not. There's a couple Templars hiding at the Nexus, so he does have 4 Templars available, actually.
This is a good number. We have 1-1. Zerg has +1, +2 on the way, but the Lurker contain hasn't been set up, and we have some Zealots out on the map, which is very annoying for Zerg to deal with.
Yeah, and Babo can't even get these Hydras across the map synced up with his Lurkers, simply because these Zealots are just running around being annoying. Lurker or Dragoons and Storm moving into position to take down this Lurker field. There's definitely not enough Hydras or Lurkers here to defend it, and those are fantastic Storms. Kills another huge clump of Hydras, and this Lurker contain did not work at all.
Yeah, and now the army is going to sync up with the Zealots, I think. And I mean, these Zerg is just unsupported. Not what you want to see when you're going for lurker contain. It's basically because of those Zealots that broke out earlier, just really kept Babo occupied.
I think it's just too big of a lead now. Also, +1 armor should have kicked in for Protoss, maybe even +2 of an upgrade if he had a second forge. And there's just not enough Hydras. There's a lack of Zealots, but those are cheap, especially when and you've got 8 gateways. You can easily rebuild those very, very quickly. And OyA, he's feeling confident enough he can take a third Nexus.
Yeah, he knows he cleared up a lurker field that was pretty big. He knows Babo doesn't have a fourth base here. Only has 6 hatcheries. He can't have that much production, so very confident to just take that third base, sit back a little bit, and then regroup and go again. Of course, High Templars getting more energy, and Babo still doesn't have +2, doesn't even have lurkers, just pure Hydra now.
Yeah, this feels like an unstoppable army. It's almost 60 supply lead for OyA. I still haven't seen any sunken set up anywhere. There's not any lurker set up anywhere. It's just pure Hydra, which of course is strong, but Protoss has heavy upgrades and they're up massively in supply, and there's Storm. Okay, that's a huge clump of Hydras, a missed opportunity there for a Storm, but it doesn't matter. I mean, OyA's powering, getting his third base up, may even take a fourth base. He's got support bay for something, may even see Reaver switch.
I think it's going to be for speed, shuttles, potentially. OyA is one of the players who really likes mixing in a lot of harass as early as he can. And looks like the Protoss army can't really see what the weapons upgrade is. I don't know if he's going for weapons 2 or armor 2. Either is good in this scenario. But third base is up now. That's a healthy mining base for Protoss. He has a lot of income here. And the supply count just keeps growing for Protoss.
Yeah, Death Army marching across the map, 55 supply lead, only +1 for Zerg, +2, still not done for OyA just yet, but we did see it was double forge for him. He's gonna try and barrel down onto these Hydras. There's only maybe like 3 lurkers set up here. Not much AoE though. Oh, the Observer, one of them got picked off. Sares are trying to take down Overlords too at the same time. He's almost supply block Babo. There's not a lot of left over Hydras anymore. Lurker falls. Is he gonna be able to hold this? It looks like just barely. Babo's gonna push this back.
No observers left. That was 3 observers that were all sniped by Babo. So good job there. But the problem is Babo still doesn't have a 4th base.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the econ to match the Protoss. I mean, Protoss already got 3 bases, and he's still mining on his main and natural. So it's a legit 3 bases. 4th base is going up for OyA. I see him putting it down right now. And still a 55 supply lead for him. +2 armor just kicked in. And he had double forge, so +2 weapons going to be kicking in pretty soon. There's no hive for Babo, so it's just still lair tech going up versus a heavy econ, heavy gateway Protoss army.
Huge Storm blanketing a lot of Hydras. And again, OyA can't go for the kill because he doesn't have the observers, but his main's about to mine out. But 4th base is going to be set up pretty soon. I mean, that's a lot of probes from OyA. And I mean, Babo, what can he really do? He has to go and kill either the army or a base, but either is looking difficult here.
Yeah, he needed to go for a backstab to deny the 4th base, because actually OyA almost mined out his main and natural already, so that means he would have been basically sitting on just 1 base. Meanwhile, there's a drop at the same time at the natural of Babo. Meanwhile, that's a lot of Hydras and lurkers, and just like in the Xin game, Protoss army just melted very, very quickly. It looks like the multitask of OyA kind of backfiring here. He tried to harass the natural, but lost his whole army in the meanwhile. And this is a huge amount of Hydras. There's no Storm here. Not really a good SimCity at the 3rd base. And now with this massive lurker field, he's able to cut off all of the Zealot reinforcements. There's also no Observer. And all of a sudden, OyA's about to not be mining.
Yeah, what happened? Because I think those 2 High Templars were desperately needed in that fight, because OyA just had no AoE whatsoever, and
he's not mining. He's about to lose his 3rd base.
Yeah, that's why he's desperately going into his lurker field. There's 1 High Templar here. That's a massive Storm.
Well, luckily for OyA, he has 800 minerals left over, so he still has a cycle to try and bust through. But look at this Nexus. I mean, I guess it's still up and running, but the probe line has been eviscerated. Oh my God.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
He looked away for a second to do the drop, and his army like collided with the Hydras in the center of the map. He was attacking. He wasn't move commanding, at least. But that was, obviously it wasn't unlosable because OyA was about to mine out on his main and natural, but he was in a fantastic position until that one attack happened.
He was ahead, something like 65 supply, had good upgrades, and he looks away. There was something like 8 lurkers and maybe like 20 Hydras, just enough to kill everything he had because he had no AoE. Those 2 high Templars that were harassing, had they been in the fight, I think it would have actually been pretty easy for him to just clean that up and then take a 4th. But yeah, just completely flipped the script, babo with 1 attack, able to kill the 3rd, and that is pretty surprising.
Yeah, I can't even believe it. Like, it felt like there's no way the Hydras and Lurkers could win because OyA was getting into the Goon Templar comp. Like, how do you actually beat that with Hydra Lurker when you don't even have massive econ? So literally the luckiest engagement Babo could have gotten, it wins him the game. And all of a sudden, he's got a lifeline. He's not out just yet, and now it's OyA who's going to be feeling pretty bad about that. Feel like he threw that one down the drain. At least he's got this. At least he's got map pick. But yeah, you OyA fans, that was a very big missed opportunity.
I mean, because he's dominating all game, right? At no point, because usually when you see a comeback, it's building slowly over time. This was sudden. This was a game completely flipped in less than 20 seconds and right after. I don't think I've ever seen a game like this.
Yeah, literally just to have the game end on a single fight and so fast, it's like almost like a StarCraft 2 match. You look away for a second, oh, my whole army died to banelings or something. You really don't ever see that. So unlucky there for OyA. As I said, at least it's his map pick, so he'll be able to pick something he wants to play on. But I mean, Eclipse is one of probably the most comfortable maps you're going to get for Protoss versus Zerg. I imagine if he's going to pick something, it has to be Ascension now, because that is just such a good map for Protoss versus Zerg. But knowing OyA, knowing that he's playing, every map in BSL, he may actually pick something else. I imagine you're also picking Ascension if you're in this scenario, right?
Yeah, good map for 1 gate, which OyA likes to do, and good map for Protoss in general with all the gas bases. And yeah, I mean, I think OyA is definitely watching a replay and going over what happened, because I would be shocked if I lost a game like that.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker. Yeah. And it's your fault too. That's the worst. It was completely your fault to lose that. Well, we are just waiting for players to get into the game, and then we will find out who's going to be facing off versus Gosudark in the winners match. We know that Xin has already made it through, and this is the last group of the round of 24 guys. So after this cast is over, make sure you stay tuned in, because group draw is going to be coming up, and we're going to find out who's going to be who's going to be in the group with Mihu and the other fourth place players. I can't remember who they actually are. I looked them up. Let's see here. Yeah, we've got Mihu waiting in the round of 16. We've got, Ziki waiting in the round of 16. And then we've got Dandy and Boa. I was wondering where Dandy and Boa and Ziki were. I was like, wow, did they just not play? And it's because they're cheating.
Yeah, the highest ranked player from each region in the ladder gets that automatic round of 16 seed, which is very important. You can see these groups, OyA, it's 1 game away from being eliminated. And even if he wins, he still has to go up against Gosudark in another best of 3. So the round of 24 is no guarantee. for any of the top players to get out.
Yeah, and this is the first win for Jiren, so he's going to be feeling a bit of a momentum here. But I think he probably is aware that he also stole a game here, so maybe not as confident as he could be. Trying to think who's missing from the Starleague this time around. Oh yeah, we missed
Terror.
Yeah, Terror. Terror is missing for sure.
Chilean Zerg. True Touch is back, which is big. But Terror, Koget, XPX. Ultra was eliminated earlier.
I mean, Chilean Zerg and True Touch and Terra to not be playing, that's a huge losses because they are BSL champions.
Ooh.
So it's
Butter.
unfortunate to not see them. And there we go, Butter. So we've got a 2-player map. Kind of surprised, but also not kind of surprised because knowing OyA, he would definitely have practiced this. So let's get into our final game of the series. Find out who's going to face off versus Gosudark in the elimination match of Group F. Right in the top right, our Protoss player is OyA.
In the bottom right, we have Jiren.
All right, well, let me ask you, even though Jiren was definitely behind that game, did you like the pool opener? Do you think he should stick with that or go back to like the hatch opener?
It did not look good from the one zealot, right? The one zealot got so much damage to probe, even getting a kill. Ooh, Pylon Scout. Is this gonna be the natural block? We'll see from OyA, because he really likes to go for the 1 gate.
Well, it could be. I'm kind of hoping it's that second pylon block that you were talking about. I've never seen that before, and probably Jiren hasn't faced it if he hasn't played versus OyA. Seems that Jiren is going to be going for the hatch. No. It is going to be an overpool.
Yep, and if this is going to be hatch first, what OyA is doing would be very annoying, but just going to be an overpool. And this is probably going to be Forge into Nexus, and then a cannon, depending on how many Zerglings Babo makes, 1 cannon or 2, but just going for Forge expand, something I wasn't expecting.
So I've been seeing more players go for Forge expand these days in comparison to like a year or a year and a half ago. What do you think the reason is for more Forge openers?
Well, a lot of like basically a couple of things determine rust distance, walls, and if it's a 4-player map or not. Because on a 4-player map, there's a 33% chance to cross. If the rust distance is too long, gate is not as good. And if you can't wall properly, if you can't get a 2 or 3 gap wall, usually 2 is like ideal, 3 is a little bit, you gotta be a little bit concerned. You see, but I think on Butter, because of the rust distance, Forge is just better.
And we do see the Forge Nexus as you were talking about, cannon coming down. Now that's only 2 lings, and okay, 4 lings. Yeah, I really do like 4 lings because you can at least hold position like the choke, and if you ever push out the probe, it can't get back in. Of course, not going to be hold positioning there, but the idea still remains. And okay, now he's going to go back. And Overlord does confirm that it is a Forge expand, so he sees exactly what OyA is doing and doesn't have to worry about a pesky zealot out in the center of the map somewhere.
Couple things. One, this was a Pylon Scout into a 14 Nexus, 14 cannon. Usually, you need to do 13-13 because the links going across the map will just get there before the cannon is done. But because it's Butter, because the rust distance is quite long, you can get away with 14. The other, Babo made the 3rd hatch before the gas, which is not common with Overpool. Usually you get something like a 235, 237 gas. This was a 3-minute gas. So if he's going to go into lair, it's actually going to be quite a bit behind. This would make sense if he's just going to go into Hydras.
All right, well, we'll be looking to see if it is Hydras. He's got the 50 gas. Hasn't used it just yet, approaching 100 gas now.
All right, so it is just going to be lair, it looks like. And Well, look at the lair timing. The cybernetics core is almost done.
Yeah, it's super delayed. So this Sair again should rack up at least 1 or 2 kills. Probe still alive somehow. OyA doing a good job. Hasn't gotten much intel. He also hasn't really. Oh, whoa! That is a 410 Citadel. Now he doesn't see anything in the main. So do you think Zerg is thinking something's up, or is he not suspecting anything at all?
You see him hunting for it, but this is probably going to be a Dragoon from OyA, and he's going to kill that. Sometimes Protoss does this as a fake, and then the Stargate at the natural, but this should definitely trigger some alarms for Babo. But I know what build this is. This is going to be speed lot into double Stargate potentially for OyA.
Yeah.
And I mean, doing this against Babo is a little bit risky because you know Babo's just going to... If you give him the option to open mutas, he's just going to go for it.
Yeah, but you're also baiting him to go into mutas and following up with double Stargate. So I like this versus this particular player. We'll see if it backfires or not. But this is definitely an interesting build. May catch OyA or may catch Jiren off guard. There's no Spire even started yet.
Oh man, and okay, so I think his plan is to go for... Okay, this bro's finally gonna get killed. He's speed, so that's huge. He's gonna go for lair, but defend with Hydras, the Sair timing, and completely backfires against a Protoss that's skipping Stargate. But because he's going to late Stargate, it might not be so terrible for him here. We'll see. Everything for Babo is gonna be a little bit wonky though, because he's not gonna expect the speed lots this fast.
Well, so far there's only one Stargate, hasn't finished just yet. I actually thought one of those gateways in the main was definitely going to be the second Stargate, but it seems that OyA, is there just ultra mind games going down? Like, I know that you know that this is going to be fast Citadel, so I'm still going to build Sairs, but only going to build one Stargate, because I thought for sure this was going to be 2 gate, 2 Stargate, but it's actually 1 Stargate, 4 gate.
And well, the cybernetics core is also spinning, but this speed lot timing is actually really fast. It's gonna hit a minute before the normal, and Babo is probably wondering what the heck is going on. He hasn't seen the Corsair. He's kind of regretting the fact that he doesn't have a Spire. He can't punish this at all with mutas, and just gonna have to make creeps. And well, the Zealot's are already here. His Hydra number is only 2.
And there's no Sunken completed just yet. I don't think the Zealots have +1. At least that's going for Babo, but he needs to drill. That's a good drill. He lets in 1 Zealot, but that's fine. That's a fantastic drill, messing up the AI, and all of the Hydras pop up at the same time. Sunken completes. I think he killed like 1 drone there, and that attack really did not work out at all.
You see the third is also having this nice SimCity. Corsair gonna get in and scout and see no Spire, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna stop making additional Corsairs. Oh, can't lose this Corsair. Luckily, medium-sized units don't take full damage from Hydras, and gonna get away here. And this is actually losing that Corsair actually really hurts. This is actually bare minimum defense from Babo, which is perfect. This is what you want to see a Zerg do. Just not overmake units, get into those drone cycles as quickly as possible, get that 6 hatch, 736 hatch. Good timing here for Babo, something we haven't seen from him in the earlier games.
Yeah, this looks like a very, very, very good position for Babo to be in. I will say, I guess his econ's a little hurt because he had to build those Hydras and sunken colonies so quickly. But overall, it looks like he's in a much better position in comparison to other games. Maybe not. There's only a single sunken there, and somehow Zealots get on top of the drone line and the sunken, and there's only a single Hydra there to help defend. Reinforcing Hydras are going to help clean this up, and these Zealots again are going to be denied.
Yeah, I think he lost like 5-6 there. Maybe got a couple drones. Actually, maybe got more than that because there's only 6 left over there. But still, better position for Babo than in any of the games from today, basically, because you can see he already has that 6 hatch. Spire getting spotted by the Corsairs is absolutely massive. If you're Babo here, you see there's not a lot of Corsairs. They don't have +1. Definitely the potential for a mutalist follow-up.
Yeah, but OyA, well, actually, he's not building any more Corsairs at all, so this could be backfire against backfire on him. He's found an open third base. There's really not any defense to deal with that single Stair. Okay, there we go. I was waiting to see a DT. We haven't seen a single DT built all series long from OyA. But this is a ton of Hydras, but OyA's prepared for it. He's already got 4 cannons set up.
So we gotta be careful moving out like this, going through your spawn choke. But it looks like that the Hydras have been damaged enough by one of those storms. A couple, I guess a control group of Hydras get left behind. Just a small mistake there from Babo. And you can see, look at his mineral and gas. He's banking up. He's waiting for that Mutalisk switch. And OyA, I don't like the Cybernetics core spinning again. Does he actually have +1? He does have +1. Only 2 Stairs, but he could get a 3rd and 4th before this Mutalisk get here. But Babo sees that Cybernetics, that Stargate not blinking. You can see Babo's gas has all been spent now.
Yeah, he just built a round of Mutalisks. It's like 7 or 8 Mutalisks in production right now. There's almost no anti-air for OyA, but it doesn't matter if he can just barrel down onto these Hydras and this natural before the Mutas pop out. Hydras are getting in a line, reducing the surface area that these Zealots can deal damage from. The Mutas pop out right on top of the Templars. I don't even know if he can cast Storm. He gets 1 off, but he doesn't hit any of the Mutalisks. And this is going to be another huge round of Zealots that are going to fall. However, the Mutas got to help fight, dude. The Storm connects onto 5 drones there, ends up wiping a decent amount of them, and the Zealots are still racking up kills.
Yeah, absolutely massive that the High Templars got within range of the middle line, and you can see this is buying OyA so much time to actually make Corsairs. I thought this was catastrophic for OyA, but he made the best out of a bad scenario, and now it's 9 Mutas moving across the map. Of course, they're not going to have carapace upgrades, and the Corsairs already have +1. That's something I saw. The Cybernetics core never stopped spinning for OyA, so even though he didn't make any more Corsairs, he's ready with the +1, and already 4 Corsairs. This is perfect for OyA here.
Yeah, he has the Stairs, as he mentioned. He has the +1. He's got a ton of goons, and supplies are still pretty close. It's 85 to 104, but there's not an overwhelming amount of Zealots like from OyA. So I mean, that's a lot of goons, yes, but I think Hydra Muta combo should easily overwhelm this. Also, a lack of Templars. So actually, with the Sarah support, maybe not. Those Mutas are pretty much dead supply.
Yeah, now he's getting supply blocked on top of this. I mean, Babo is in a great position. 4th base is up. He has very good drones, but now he's going to get supply block. He just doesn't have units. He really needed to buy time with these Mutas, but the number of Corsairs supported by the Dragoons, where the High Templars looks like they're lagging a little bit behind.
This might be it. That's not the greatest storm, but there's a ton. Oh, actually, there's not that many Dragoons. Okay, there is 4. Oh my god, that's a fantastic storm, and kills almost half of the Hydras right there. Zealots to health buffer the damage from the Hydras. They're going into the mineral line right now. Also, the Hydrogen is highly exposed, and that's it. GG, he taps out, and OyA, he's gonna escape death and move into the elimination match versus Gosudark.
Yeah, so OyA manages to win. I actually thought Babo was playing a lot better this time around. Just a little bit unfortunate there. That one attack with like 9 Zealots and 2 High Templars did a lot more damage than I was expecting. And that it didn't turn the tide of the game, but it just made things a lot more easy for OyA. He had, I don't know, maybe like an extra minute to actually make Corsairs. And yeah, then Babo couldn't hold up the follow-up attack.
Yeah, and at the natural, he rebuilt so many drones. I think he even built like 15 drones. Like after we checked it, after that attack, like it was completely saturated. So imagine if even half of those drones were Hydras, he may have been able to actually hold off that attack. But it is what it is. OyA had really good play in that series, and he's going to move on versus Gosudark. And we're going to go into a break, and then we're going to find out who's going to be moving out in 2nd place and rounding out our round of 16 finishers. All right, guys, we're back, and we have some unfortunate news, and that is that apparently Gosudark's electricity is out, and we don't know when it's going to come back. So OyA has agreed to play Gosudark in the middle of the week, and Zero's going to cast that. And meanwhile, since this was the last remaining game, we're just going to close out today's stream, or close out today's group. But we're going to continue to do the group draw, and however, there's just going to be a slot for Gosudark / OyA, and whoever wins the match in the middle of the week will be filled in that slot. And that's it, really. Curiosity, right?
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. We're gonna have to end our portion of the cast early, but that does mean that whoever wins out of this group is gonna be Protoss. It's gonna be OyA or Gosudark.
All right, guys, we're back, and we have some unfortunate news, and that is that apparently Gosudark's electricity is out, and we don't know when it's going to come back. So OyA has agreed to play Gosudark in the middle of the week, and Zero is going to cast that. And meanwhile, since this was the last remaining game, we're just going to close out today's stream, or close out today's group. But we're going to continue to do the group draw, and however, there's just going to be a slot for Gosudark / OyA, and whoever wins the match in the middle of the week will be filled in that slot. And that's it, really. Curiosity, right?
Yeah, a bit unfortunate. We're gonna have to end our portion of the cast early, but that does mean that whoever wins out of this group is going to be Protoss. It's going to be OyA or Gosudark. So for the next stage of this tournament, the round of 16, there's just going to be one slot until that match is determined, and Zero sometime later during the week will be able to cast that for you guys. So a bit unfortunate, but sometimes these things happen, and not going to take a walkover in this scenario would be unfair. Zero thoughts on that are basically that. So as long as OyA can play, and OyA has agreed, fortunately that match will still be played just sometime later.
Yeah, so we're getting a look at the bracket today. You can see Xin made it out in first place, ended up winning 2-1, but Gosudark had opportunities to actually take that series and make it out in first place. He's done really well all day today. OyA barely getting through Jiren, and he's going to be facing off versus Gosudark. And as you stated, we're going to have a final Protoss in the round of 16, one of these two players. And with all that said, that's going to wrap us up today, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Of course, this
Rise and fight.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Nice to have you all here. This is a new era for the Bombastic Starleague. This is a new era for BSL. A new era for my life, I believe, as well, because we will also have plenty of more interesting and exciting events on Trovo going on. If you guys will like it, and if you guys will want to stream it, huge thanks to Mr. Deadfate, and sorry for not providing the clean feed for the cast today, but I was busy preparing everything for the race wars that I wasn't even thinking about it for the one game. But I hope you will forgive me. So sorry for all the Spanish amigos, Spanish language viewers. I mean, not all from Spain. Okay, guys. I hope you can hear me. My beautiful wife is here. So we will going to have BSL OyA versus Gosudark now. This is the fifth game, fifth match, decider match between two players who will advance to the round of 16 of BSL and join Group B. Unfortunately, Mr. Gosudark had a power electricity shutdown, and we wasn't able to finish the match during the scheduled cast of the BSL. So we will have this match today, because I didn't want to give any walkovers, because those players are so good, and that was not the fault of Mr. Gosudark, because he was playing the first and second game very well. So I felt like it was fair to just give the match option to be played later. And so this is what's going to happen. So now we will have OyA versus Gosudark, and then later we will going to have the race wars, which is which is here, and we will going to have 3 races from each, 3 representatives from each race. From Protoss it will be Canadian Protoss Dragon, American Protoss BoA, and Russian Protoss Dawid. And from Zergs will be American Zerg Hawk, Canadian Zerg Crossy, and a Chilean Zerg Jiren, aka Babo. And from Terran we will have Peruvian Terran Dandy, Peruvian Terran Terror, and American Terran Nayoken. So I think that's pretty hyped, but let's first focus on the match between Gosudark and OyA, because that needs to be casted, that needs to be shown. Winner of this match will go. Oh, wait! I should have bracket, right? I didn't change anything to be able to show it to you guys. Okay, guys. So, are you ready for BSL Pro League? Let's have the BSL Pro League feeling of a game. So, give me an option to make this. Okay. Okay. Okay, guys, so what we're going to have is we will find out who will be the second player to advance from Group F of BSL round of 24 Group F. It will be the match between OyA versus Gosudark. It's best of 3. Gosudark very strong Peruvian Protoss player, and OyA very strong Swedish Protoss players, both players who used to be in the round of 16, but unfortunately one of them will have to be eliminated today. And let's see who will that be. Those are the amazing profiles of the players. So this is Mr. Johan versus Jose. Johan Person versus Jose Mira. And as you can see, Gosudark is 8 years later than OyA. And so OyA definitely younger opponent. So we had the issue that Gosudark had electricity shut down, so we decided to just allow the players to play the match later, so to not have walkover. So this is the match. So it will be OyA versus Gosudark. Since it's a decider match, the first map will be battered, and let me just create it for you guys, and we will start the show. We will start the. I will even give you fantastic music. So the map is battle, 2 players map, rather new map, however very nice one. I think we had plenty of good games over here, so let's get to game number 1 between Gosudark and OyA. Okay. OyA versus Gosudark. Top right location. As a blue Protoss player, we are having Mr. Gosudark. Bottom right player. As a red Protoss, we are having Mr. OyA. Two very strong players. They played each other in the round of 24, right? In the first match, and Gosudark won, so already 1-0 for Gosudark. At least at the day the group was played. However, this match was played on Wednesday, so it's around 30 hours. So I consider this game still as a fresh one. Pylons from both players. So scouting after the gateway, both players decided for the same scouting. Sorry guys, I was trying to see if Sergacity is joining me. I don't know if he is. If he is there, but somehow my zoom. Oh, it's okay. Okay, there is no Sergacity yet. Okay, so we have Cybercore from OyA, faster Cybercore from OyA, which is weird. Why is it so much faster? Like, maybe because Gosudark will want to go for some kind of expansion or something like that, because it's significantly faster, and OyA has a Zealot. So do I miss something? So OyA has a Zealot. Gosudark has one probe advantage, but it's... Yeah, so okay, so it's one probe advantage. Very nice harassment from Gosudark with the probe, forcing this one probe to be pulled. Okay, and now let's see if there will be a range for the Dragoons. The probe is constantly scouting. The same thing with OyA, who is trying to make a mana pylon. But it's weird that this Zealot is chasing this probe instead of going for harassment. However, OyA probe was killed, I think, by the probe, so it's a huge mistake by OyA for now. As you can see, Gosudark is still keeping his probe alive, so all the information are going towards him. He will be probably able to even scout the second gateway. Yeah, he scouted the second gateway, so he knows what he's playing against. So that's definitely big info to have. A great information spike. So what will be the choice from Mr. OyA? It's robotics facility and second gateway from Gosudark. So looking at the opening, Gosudark seems to have more probes, which is usually it is the way that Gosudark has less probes than other opponents, but this time he's going for triple gateway, and he will be facing double gateway plus faster robotics facility from OyA. This is a scouting Dragoon, but OyA needs to be careful. Look at that, the Dragoon didn't shoot, I think he didn't deal any damage. Let me know guys if there is everything good with the quality and you can hear and see everything correctly. I hope you let everyone know that BSL starts on Trovo and that your friends on Discord or on your teammates or your practice partners, that you let everyone know that you liked and followed and shared the stream to your friends, because it's rather important, at least for me, so I will appreciate if you do it. So Gosudark is scouting very nicely from this direction, so he will be not catched by the random reinforcements. Okay, so as you can see, Gosudark is trying to hide that he's having more Dragoons than he usually would have on two gateways. I think it looks this way because that's why he's hiding this Zealot, right? He wasn't building it, so OyA don't know that it's there. And this is very safe opening from OyA, very fast observer. So it should be beneficial for Gosudark if he will be able to attack at the right moment, because this is 3 gateway production versus 2 gateway production. So until there will be no river, there will be no advantage point for OyA beside the defender's advantage. And this observer should give OyA all the informations. He will know perfectly what is coming towards him. It will be 7 Dragoons plus a Zealot. He has 6 Dragoons plus 2 Zealots, so actually it's pretty manageable. 3 Zealots even. The river is halfway done, so if OyA will defend it, he will have a tech advantage. He also have more probes than Gosudark for now, and very smartly he's coming back. He's very smartly retreating to the main base. There is no reason to fight in the open area over here. It's much better for him to try to fight in this position, in this small choke, especially that he's waiting for the river, which will add additional value to his army. This is a very bad idea from Gosudark, at least in my opinion. This is very hard to attack. obviously he has the Dragoon advantage, so it's 10 Dragoons against 6, so he should be able to use it as an advantage. We can see that OyA will be able to see whether the expansion is going or not. This will be some kind of a timer for him, because when he will know that Gosudark is going for expansion, he will want to get out of his base. Oh, but now he's getting out. Very risky move from Gosudark, from OyA. Only 2 river shots. So I think this is a very good move for Gosudark, because OyA is overextending. At least it looks like he's overextending. This is 3 Dragoons only left from OyA, so Gosudark is actually, he crushed him in this engagement. Some additional Dragoons from OyA. Nice micro from both players, but it looks like, yeah, Gosudark is tapping out, and OyA is tapping out, and GG. We are having a 1-0 series for our amazing Protoss players from Peru. So 1-0 for Gosudark. Okay, I entered Mr. Oh, sorry guys, this should be this.
Hello?
City. You are live, by the way, everyone can hear you. Guys, can you hear Curiosity? Seri, can you hear me? Oh,
Yeah, I hear you.
okay. I think everyone can hear you as well. So let me just launch the camera. It should be working. Okay. Do you see the
Yep, got it.
Okay, fantastic. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, we are having Mr. Curiosity Super Gosu Protoss from USA here. Hello, Seri. How are you doing?
Hello, doing well.
Have you watched the first game between Gosudark and OyA?
No, I just got home. I haven't seen. What happened?
So Gosudark went for 3 gateways, and OyA went for double gateway into river. And he was able to wait until the river, but when he was trying to break from his main base, when Gosudark was containing him, Gosudark surrounded him nicely, had a better exchange and won. So it's 1-0 for Gosudark for now.
Wow.
Yeah. So very, very convincing. And your prediction about the game length was very good about in case of Mr. Gosudark.
Yep, not surprised. Kind of like the game on between Gosudark where he went 3-gate, also broke Protoss. But I guess this time he made more probes than he did in that game.
Oh yeah. There was a moment when he had more probes than OyA.
There we go.
Okay, so the game number 2 will be on the map Good Night. So do you know anything more about this map in terms of PvP? Is it because this is Migor, so it shouldn't matter that much, right?
No, it doesn't matter. Pretty normal map. Sometimes, well, actually, the maps have a big impact on what kind of game we're gonna see. So, if you compare a map like Fighting Spirit to a map like Circuit Breaker, Fighting Spirit is a lot more defensive of a map. You can just camp behind your bridge, and Circuit Breaker is a lot more active. You get a lot more action because it's harder to play defensively. And Good Night is somewhere between the two because your natural is on a high ground, but it's very open.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go. So game number 2 between OyA and Gosudark and BSL ProLeague Group F. Okay, so spawning on the top right position as a red Protoss, we are having OyA.
And in the bottom left, in the blue, we have Gosudark.
Lost position at the beginning, so do you expect a double gateway from one of the players?
4-player map, double gateway, it can really backfire because there's a 33% chance that you're facing cross map. And if you go for that double gateway cross map, it can really hurt your chances. Your zealots just arrive really late. Your opponent will have one zealot, one dragoon with a second dragoon about to pop. Unlikely to do any damage there. Why does Gosu? Okay, there we go. He's scouting the middle and he's going directly cross.
Maybe he was expecting double gateway from OyA in the middle, because that's why you scout through the middle mostly, right?
Yeah. But then he's going double gate, and now he's gonna see it's cross. Maybe he was gonna do something like 3 zealots or 5, and because it's cross, he's only gonna make 3. So maybe that's why he's going this way.
Oh, and OyA will not find him, so actually this might work for Gosudark, because he might have 1 zealot on the ramp and not show the second gateway.
Or this could even be worse. Maybe OyA's like, this is a really fast scout. He must be adjacent, not cross. So he's gonna check bottom right, and then he's gonna check top left. This could definitely backfire.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so he's bringing the probe to not allow him to see what's going on in the main base. And the same opening from OyA as previous game. So it should be good for OyA, right? Because he will have a dragoon or even 2 dragoons ready when Gosudark will attack him. And we will see 5 zealots actually.
But OyA will see this.
Yeah,
He's gonna have a lot of time here.
he should be prepared, right?
Yeah, but by the time these zealots get here, like, look what OyA is doing. He's gonna send this dragoon out. These zealots are gonna take so much damage before they even get to the base, and by that time there's gonna be another zealot or another dragoon on that ramp. So this dragoon is all he has to do is shoot a lot, remove the shields, maybe get some damage done on the health.
Yeah, that's definitely a very good move to do. Like, every time you're facing double gateways, you should always bring 1 dragoon and try to poke it this way. Although that it looks very easy, however, it requires a lot of APM to be able to do it and do everything at home. However, it's only 1 dragoon, so it's not the end of the world. A nice micro from OyA, lowering 1 zealot, 2 zealots actually very helpful, very strong. And with this zealot, he should be able to kill it without losing even a throw.
Still gotta be careful though. Zealots, kind of ridiculous. Zealots do really well against shields if there's no micro. They just do full damage. You can only have. But nice defense so far. I think he's only gonna lose 1, maybe 2 probes, and he gets all 3 zealots. Doesn't lose a single unit. So now these subsequent zealots aren't likely to do anything. And behind this, OyA can just expand off 1 gateway because he knows he has the unit advantage.
Right, definitely. And very nice he. Oh, he will lose another probe.
Oh, 1 hit away. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
But look at the worker difference. It's already pretty big, and OyA's gonna expand. And behind us, what is Gosudark gonna do?
Yeah, even though he has 2 gateways, he will have to wait for another wave of dragoons to have even numbers as OyA. And OyA will have a range faster, right? So he should be able to close Gosudark for the time being.
Yeah, and I expect this to be a robo next because Gosudark can be going Citadel instead of Goon range here, and definitely catch him off guard. This is something we saw on Ascension in the first game of the group between these two.
And also going for Robo makes sense because you are in an advantageous position, so you don't want to die to go to Dark Darks, right?
Yeah, I don't know about this, so
Yeah, that
you
was
shouldn't really
overextension.
be attacking when you're expanding. So just pull back, because now...
Oh,
now
he
Gosudark
cancelled
has
Nexus.
Huh. I don't know about that. I felt like he was in a great position, and now.
Oh, and Citadel.
Oh, you know why he's doing this? Because he scouted the 3-gate with that one Dragoon.
Oh, you are right.
That
yeah.
went up the ramp.
That's so smart, actually. I would never do that. He's adding additional 2 gateways, so he will be not that behind. Even if the Templars will not work, then he will have 3 gateway Dragons. So it's actually the thing that Gosudark did in a previous game, right? Where he was going Dark Templars into switch into 3 gateway Dragons.
Yep. Now Gosudark is, I mean, he got scouted. He could transition and just make a robo himself, but you can see he's been cutting probes quite heavily here.
Yeah.
He's only on 19, already 6 deficit. He's gonna have a lot of Dragoons, but I mean, Reaver and Archives. How is he affording this? How does he have all this gas? But the Reaver makes sense just to hold a ramp, and then the DT is just like a unit to which Gosudark is not gonna have an answer.
Yeah, even one Dark Templar should be enough, and then you're right, Reaver will be great to defend, especially using the high ground.
And I like that he's making these assaults really help plug the ramp. Dragoons only do half damage, and with 50% miss chance, it's really only like a quarter damage. I don't know about this. He's gonna try to take this larger ramp maybe, but this seems a little bit risky.
Oh yeah, very risky for Royalty, but he's utilizing Zealots nicely, so maybe it will work. But I really think going back to his ramp will be better. And he took a lot of damage on those Zealots, which was not necessary, I think.
Okay, he needs to keep. Okay, he has another one, and there's the first Dark Templar. Now OyA, all he has to do is hold this ramp here. There's no way he's gonna die. Reaver's out too, loading the Scarabs. They have easy defense and the perfect timing because now Gosudark's gonna pull back and he's gonna think, oh, he has Reaver. I'll just expand here. If he doesn't see the minimap here, there's no way he'll suspect DT. Yeah, he doesn't suspect it. Yeah,
This is too late.
It's over. OyA would just target it down.
That was very nice, reaction to what he's seen. Yeah, very nice reaction from OyA G. Going for this Dark Templar was very smart, and
well, looks like we're getting into the 8-minute mark. That's basically where all Gosudark games end.
So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh no, he's going for the probe, so it might last a little bit longer, right?
No, I mean, this is definitely still over.
And yeah, GG.
Yep.
Okay, very nice, and very quick game, and we have a series here.
Yeah, 1-1, and now 1 game away from the round of 16.
So the next map will be Monopoly.
And if I remember correctly, we did see Gosudark against the Chinese Protoss, I forget the name now, on this map. Yeah, it was this map, and Gosudark went for 3-gate Dragoon as well.
Oh yeah, it was this map where he almost had a win from shooting from the low ground, right?
Yeah.
This game broke this funny way. Okay. Oh, it's not that. Okay, so OyA G versus Gosudark, the third game, the last game of the BSL Season 14 ProLeague round of 24. So 6 o'clock position, Super Gosudark from Peru as a blue Protoss.
From Sweden, the red Protoss OyA G. Now, OyA G, always in the round of 8, it seems like. 1 game away from being eliminated, 1 game away from advancing. This is the do or die match. And against a player like Gosudark, it is not, you're not exactly comfortable in a scenario like this. Because the most important thing, like last game I was questioning, why is he going up the ramp if he's going 1 gate robo like this? And it made sense because 3 gate goon, even cross map, it can be a little bit difficult for OyA to hold that. So really critical there to get that scout in, and he had the perfect response right after.
So do you think this map, like 3-player map, seems to be better for 3 gateway goons than 4-player map? Do you think that makes a difference?
Well, the rush distance on a 4-player map, if cross, is actually quite long. So 3-player map, yeah, can be better. Also, there's no, like on good night, you have to go up a small ramp, a big ramp and then a small ramp. Here, there's no ramp at the natural, so it's harder for them to hold.
Oh yeah.
But we'll see. OyA also likes to play aggressively, but it seems like against Gosudark, he just beats you to the punch. He gets there first, and another 2 gate. And critically, OyA is not going to scout him first, but he's doing the same build he did last game.
Yeah, so he should add Zero right now, which will be very important. Yeah, he just added it. So it's very important, the same thing. Yeah, the question is if OyA will scout double gateway, because it should give him more information what he should be doing, even sending this early Dragoon. Something like that. But Gosudark will scout first.
Yeah, Gosudark can be annoying here with the Manor Pylon. Let's see if he goes for that. There's OyA's Zealot. He's going out with 1 Zealot. Okay, he's gonna retreat. Yeah, you don't want to go with 1 Zealot. The timing is when you have 3, because 1 versus 1 and the Dragoon pops out. It's not really gonna be that impactful. So just 1 Zealot holding a ramp. This could be core Zealot or it could be double gate. OyA doesn't know quite yet.
Yeah, so Gosudark's scouting timing seemed better, at least for solving what's going on. But now he will see everything, so I think it shouldn't be that bad for OyA. But it's double gateway because it gives you an option to scout as well. So it's not only applying some pressure, but also you are able to be in the Protoss, in your opponent base for a little bit longer, usually at least.
Yeah, and same Dragoon move up, but you can see the Dragoon isn't meeting the Zealots in the middle of the map. It's meeting them at the natural. Rush distances a lot closer here. Only going to be able to shoot 1 Zealot shield away.
Ooh, nice pro block.
Oh, this pro block can be absolutely massive. You're not able to get up the ramp, man.
Ooh, and OyA is microing. Very nice micro from Gosudark though.
That 1 Zealot wasn't attacking the Zealot. 1 versus 1. This is not that hard for the Zealot player. They just really dance. The Dragoon micro is way more difficult here, and we see 1 Dragoon, 1 hit away.
Ooh, nice
get picked, and now it's
micro.
4 versus 1. And I don't think OyA has any more gateways. He only has the 1. Shield battery being added. This is a lot of Zealots here.
Yeah, definitely. So you can see how much 1 micro mistake can cost you in the mirror matchup. Yeah, only 1 Dragoon. He has a 2nd Dragoon, but on the ramp, so those Zealots will be able to deal much more damage.
The thing is, OyA has to hold on here, and he'll be fine. Even if he loses like 3-4 probes, you can see he has a huge worker lead here. But too many Zealots. 2 more arrived, 2 more are on the way. I can see them on the minimap.
Yeah.
Very important. He doesn't lose Dragoons, and he lost the shield battery, which is what really helps you to fight this.
And the Dragoons are dying, so OyA is blocking himself, the 2nd Dragoon is dying, so those Zealots are perfect from Gosudark, and we are seeing Gosudark, yeah, having a probe advantage right now.
Oh man, another Dragoon is dead.
Are many
Down to
Dragoons
11.
coming from...
And now Dragoons are being rallied, and sure, it's gonna be range versus no range, but the Dragoon can just walk up and shoot your lone Dragoon. 2 gateway production, and the rally just never stops for Gosudark here.
Yeah, you can just kill this army. So this is GG from OyA, and Gosudark going to round of 16. Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, what a play from Gosudark. Just you can see if the first Dragoon has trouble, I mean, that pro block was actually very critical there. He couldn't get back up the ramp, and just won him the game there. Very good control with the pro there by Gosudark.
Definitely well done. And let me just show you the bracket, guys. So this is the bracket, the group F. So Gosudark is the last player to advance to the round of 16 of BSL, and he will be playing on Sunday. So he will join Group B with Boa, Kid, and Gypsy. So how do you see his chances? Do you think he should be happy with the group he has?
Yeah, I think so, because I mean, his PvP is his best matchup. He has P's in his group. They all gotta watch out. Even if you know what's coming, it's still very hard to hold. I feel like he has a decent chance in his group.
Yeah, I think Gosudark is a much more solid player than like he's getting more and more solidier, if that's the word, and if it exists. But if I'm recalling him from, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, and now he's very solid player.
Yeah,
at least in the shorter games.
He has a reputation for being I don't know, like a 20-25 probe man, but if you can't stop it, that's on you. And it's very hard. Like the zealot control, when the zealot control is good, the dragoons really struggle. And he was very comfortable with the 2-gate, and he showed us in this group, basically all group long, that's his go-to build, and he's gonna do it until you can stop it. Yeah, and that's a good, like, if it's ain't broke, why fix it? That's Ziggy sentence, and that's works perfectly. That's the 2-fact mantra, right? Exactly, like it should work until 2200 every time. Like maybe not, but actually double fact can be powerful. Okay, so we know all the players from round of 16 of BSL ProLeague, and now we will go for the short break.
And he's going to be facing off versus Gosudark, and as you stated, we're going to have a final Protoss in the round of 16, one of these two players. And with all that said, that's going to wrap us up today, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Of course, this can, yes, of course, we have to thank our sponsors and our Patreon supporters. Main sponsors, Esports Fun and Optimunk. And then our Patreon supporters too. At the $100 level, we've got, of course, the one and only Star Lover. At the $50 level, Martin Harsmar, Striker, Zero Sum. $30 level, Bizardo 86, Cuz, Tupacalypse. $20 level, Nicholas Schuler, Christian Eddington, LML, Lingenpup, Niantic, and Quark. And all you other Patreon supporters, thank you so much for supporting the BSL. And remember, $10 support or above, you get access to all the replays. And of course, we do have the shop, but our BSL model, Gypsy, he's not here to talk about the shop, but just trust me, the attire is fantastic. And I've been wearing the white BSL sweatshirt all day long. It's fantastic. You should definitely consider buying one or buying one of the mugs. I personally really like the white mug. I have a affinity towards white apparel and stuff like that. So definitely consider supporting that way. And that's it, Seriosity. Any final words?
No, just a bit unfortunate, but at least the games will still be played, and those games will be available for you guys later during the week. And there's going to be a lot more BSL events, not only Pro League, but also Gosu Hasu and the lower leagues. On top of that, there's going to be eventually Race Wars starting off. I don't know if you guys have seen the graphics from earlier. It's going to be Race Wars between all the foreigners. Going to have best Protoss, Terrans, and Zergs representing their teams. So just tune in and also follow BSL on Trovo. There's going to be a lot of events there being casted as well.
Yeah, so again, guys, thank you so much for watching. And I will also be playing in Race Wars sometime. So if I don't see you in round of 16 or round of 8, hopefully I'll see you in Race Wars. And it will be an exciting time. Again, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.